The story begins with a big battle between our MC and an Eastern dragon. The dragon raises his claw while charging his dragon breath. And then he strikes our MC with his huge arms, sending him flying. Our MC, Lin Jichen, curses inwardly. He says that he is the #1 mage cultivator in the world while coughing up blood. He asks himself if he's really going to be killed by a mutated beast. Someone suddenly slams the dragon to the ground. Lin Jichen looks up and calls out to Gigi and Ziwi and asks them to save him while feeling relieved. They look at him condescendingly, then the girl approaches him, cups his hand and says that she didn't expect him to really come and search for the Pisces pendant just because she asked him to. She says that he is a good man who always satisfied her every need. She removes a ring from his finger, saying that she'll be taking it as his last gift to her, that way she wouldn't forget how nice he was to her. Confused, he asks what she means while reaching out to her. She suddenly kisses the guy passionately, leaving him shocked. She then says that what she means is that she and Ziwi are now together and that he's an eyesore, so they came to send him off. In his anger and frustration, he thinks that he treated them like his family, to think they would actually betray him while slowly dying on the ground. Suddenly a jade artifact around his heart suddenly started to glow, and the next thing we see is an alarm clock waking Lin Jichen up. He lifts himself off the bed asking where he is, why this place looks like his university's dormitory, and wasn't he killed by that Ascension Realm boss, Torch Dragon, in one slap, so how is he alive? He then exclaims in surprise as to where his storage ring and Danfu had gone. And why everything is gone. He then thinks of something and checks the date, only to discover that it is the 7th of August 2040. He is shocked that he was reborn on the day before the start of the game 10 years in the past. He tears up, thinking of how lucky he is, but then starts to question how he got reborn. He recalls a rumor in 8 Wastelands that the Supreme Divine Artifact Pisces pendant from the strongest mutated beast in the Ascension Realm is able to revive the player. But he didn't expect this rumor to be true. It was lucky that he hadn't kept Pisces in his storage ring, otherwise, they would have been stolen by Guojia and Shu Zihu. He loved Guojia for 10 years, but she ended up with his most trusted brother Shu Ziwi in the end. He looks into the bathroom mirror, clutches his fist, and thinks that not only did they steal all his accumulated assets, treasures, elixirs, and even send him to be killed by a mutated beast. Since the heavens didn't abandon him, he would make them taste the pain of betrayal in this life. He suddenly gets a call from someone he named as Crazy Bitch, so he picks up the phone and says long time no see. On the other end, we see a really pretty woman still working out at the gym. She responds by asking what he's talking about, since they had a mini hot pot together just yesterday. She calls him Little Lindsay and tells him that she has something important to tell him after she thought about it for a while, and asks him not to be shocked. Listening to this point, Lin Jichen recalls the same conversation from his past life where she called him and told him that she saw Guojia kissing another man, but he didn't believe her and even argued with her, before cutting off all contact. He thinks it's great to hear her voice again after so long. Midway through their phone conversation, he suddenly apologizes to her, making her confused. She asks him why he's apologizing and why he's acting weird today. He says it's nothing, it's just that he was speaking with his emotions. Dropping her dumbbell, she tells him she doesn't have time to joke with him and that he better mentally prepare himself. Then she says that just now, she saw Guojia kissing a man on the streets, and she even climbed into that man's sports car. He says he understands nonchalantly, to which she gets mad, asking what's with his response and that she's not joking with him, thinking that he doesn't believe her. He reassures her, saying that he believes her, but that there's something more important he has to tell her. She asks if he's okay and not to be too upset, since he's scaring her a little with how calm he's being. Sitting in front of his computer, he asks if she heard of the game 8 Wastelands, to which she says of course she heard of it, since its advertisement is everywhere. He says that he's thinking of becoming a pro esports player for that game, inwardly thinking that nobody knows that the game is not ordinary as of yet. It'll go viral across the globe, and in 5 years' time, the game will merge with reality. All abilities, treasures, and even NPCs and bosses will descend into reality. So, the earlier you join the game, the faster you can get an advantage. Back to their conversation, she asks if he's being serious and that the game is said to have been independently developed by INUWA. She says that she remembers that he was always good at video games, so, if he can really make a name for himself in this game, his future possibilities will be endless. He says he's serious and that he'll be moving out of the dorm in 2 days and renting a room to devote his entire self into the game. She says that she'll be hanging up since he's alright, and that she was worried for nothing. But before she could hang up, he asks her to wait. She asks why, and he responds that the game needs equipment. He looked at his billing records and realized that he exceeded his withdrawal limit yesterday. But before he could finish, she screams in refusal, saying that she's broke and who told him to insist on giving Guojia an expensive birthday gift yesterday. She says that he reaps what he sows and hangs up. He sighs, lamenting that he wasn't reborn a day earlier. He suddenly gets a notification from his phone and sees that she actually sent him the money with a voice message saying that this is her gym membership fee for a few years, and asks him to pay her back as soon as possible. If she can't go to the gym because of him, she will use him as a sandbag for training. He sends her a response saying not to worry and that he will definitely return her money. Later that day, he looks at his watch and sees that there's 1 more second left till the game launches. He uses the ring on his finger to log into the game, thinking that after 10 years he's back to where dreams begin. Inside the player hub, the players who logged in are calling out to the hologram of NUWA. The Eye is the first level after entering the game. It looks simple, but it actually contains many hidden mechanisms. Lin Jichen thinks that he must deal with this carefully. The players are still screaming at Nuwa, saying she's beautiful and other things. Lin Jichen is stupefied at how idiotic they are to have improper thoughts about Lady Nuwa. She suddenly waves her hand saying how noisy, sending those players into a portal. They are surprised, asking why an NPC can get angry. Lin Jichen thinks that if their punishment is light, all the players who were disrespectful to Lady Nuwa will be put in confinement. Otherwise, they would have their attributes permanently lowered. Those who wish to earn her favor have to show enough sincerity. He walks up to her, cups his hand and bows his head. She smiles and says that for a mortal, he appears to be decent. She asks if he really wishes to step into the cultivation path and become an immortal. He says yes, saying that his name is Lin Jichen and requests her to give him her blessing. She agrees to bestow upon him good fate. An innate talent is coming. Smiling, Lin Jichen thinks of his past life and remembers his talent. Business prodigy was kinda bad. Although it gives a 10% discount when purchasing items in all stores in the city, it becomes useless in the future. He thinks that if he gets the same talent this time, then so be it. Innate talents aren't everything. With his understanding of the game, even if the beginning is trash, there's still a chance of making a comeback. He starts glowing and receives a notification, discovering that his talent has indeed changed. The notification congratulates him for obtaining the innate talent Alter Fate. Alter Fate against Heaven's will is born against Heaven's will, against Heaven's laws, luck against Heaven's will. Its first ability, Born Against Heaven's, will increase all his attributes to the max, but at the same time, for every death, his innate attributes will all decrease by 10%. The second ability, Against Heaven's Laws, doubles his attributes after breaking through a realm. However, if he fails to overcome his heavenly tribulation, his soul will disappear. The third ability is Luck Against Heaven's Will. It gives a random talent after breaking through every realm as an additional reward. At the same time, for every realm he breaks through, he must fulfill the heavenly grade condition. Looking at this notification, Lin Jichen thinks that this talent is broken. Even though this talent has its benefits, it's full of danger as well, but the greater the risks, the better the rewards. Lady Nuwa says that now that she has bestowed a talent upon him, he has to choose his own avatar. Lin Jichen looks through the models and thinks that although all these basic models might look the same, in reality, there's a massive difference in their attributes. Stopping at a silver-haired model, he thinks that this is the one. That this model has the greatest charisma value in all of the basic models. He clicks on it, thinking that he didn't have experience in his previous life and intentionally chose a model with an afro because he was tired of being a handsome man his entire life. But he only realized after entering the game that the better you look, the easier it is to gain the NPC's favor. He was screwed over badly because of his afro before. Players with high charisma can get quests and get carried very easily. You might even have a chance to meet NPCs WHO would want to dual cultivate with you. So he wants to wash away the humiliation from his past life. After finishing, Manhwa asks him to choose a location to be born. He looks at the map and thinks that these 4 lands correspond to one of the 4 main professions in the game. Yongning is best suited for magic cultivation, Yuhua is best for medical, Mu Xian is best for weapon cultivation, and Hua Feng is best for body cultivation. He checks his status and thinks that core bone determines the limit of weapon and body cultivation, while spirit determines the limit for magic and medical cultivation. Comprehension can help in learning skills, while charisma affects the favorability of NPCs. Luck is self-explanatory. This time, all attributes are maxed out, so if he continues to cultivate, he'll be able to become the #1 magic cultivator in no time. But magic is good for team battles, not solo ones. He suffered enough of this in his past life. Besides, he chose magic before because Guojia liked it. This time, he would choose one that he likes. He selects Mu Xian, the land for weapon cultivation, thinking that in this life if wants to be #1, he would have to face attacks from all sides. Sword cultivation, which had the highest single target damage, is not afraid of these. In this life, he wants to become the strongest sword cultivator. He then gets teleported to the beginner's village where the players are bustling. Looking at them, Lin Jichen finds it nostalgic. A player suddenly exclaims that the old man here should be an NPC and tries to get a quest from him. The players start to push each other to be first. Lin Jichen laughs inwardly at their stupidity for thinking that a hidden quest would be in such an obvious NPC. He turns and walks in the opposite direction thinking that while they are fighting each other, he'll be heading to the sword sect. A pretty NPC suddenly calls out to him. He turns to her in confusion. She says that she's the owner of a tailor shop in the village and that she could arrange a mission for him. She says that she's been single since her husband died 5 years ago, and if he finds the quest too difficult, she could do it with him. She asks what he thinks and if he wants the mission. Meanwhile, Lin Jichen is thinking that this is the power of an innate maxed out charisma value. He didn't expect it to attract an NPC. He thinks that if he accepts and increases his favorability with this widow, he might be able to dual cultivate with her. But then he shakes his head, thinking that if he wants to be the #1 sword cultivator, he shouldn't be obsessed with beauties right at the start. So, he politely declines, saying that he has other things to do and that he would find her again to accept the mission if gets the chance. She accepts, telling him to come find her soon, leaving the players around stupefied that he actually refused a quest they couldn't even get. Thinking of the real opportunity in this village, he goes to a blacksmith shop. Some play tells him not to go in since there's just a blacksmith inside and he doesn't speak. He thanks them for the reminder and says he's just looking around. He goes inside while some players are bad-mouthing him for ignoring the advice. Inside he sees the blacksmith hammering a sword, then stops, looks at it and asks himself why it's not taking shape properly. While thinking of how ignorant the players are for not knowing that this NPC is the most important in this village, he goes to the furnace and grabs the lever, then starts pumping air into it, causing the fire to grow, which reminds the NPC that the temperature is not enough. He starts hammering away while Lin Jichen is pumping the furnace until it finally takes shape. The blacksmith then turns to Lin Jichen and thanks him profusely, and as thanks for his help he could pick any weapon in shop and he will lend it to him for a day, but he has to return it after the day is over. Receiving a weapon for a day after completing a mission, the beginners will definitely find it too stingy and be too lazy to continue, but he knows the real deal behind this. Picking an ordinary iron sword, he says he'll take it. The blacksmith says that if he can find 10 venomous fangs from green pit vipers, he would give him an opportunity, to which Lin Jichen gladly accepts. Some players start flocking to him asking how he got a weapon. He replied that the muscular man inside just broke up with his girlfriend and is heartbroken. If they sing him a love song and if he is touched by their singing, he would give them a weapon. They believed him and ran toward the blacksmith and started singing, which eventually caused the NPC to lose it and kick them out. Lin Jichen is walking in the bamboo forest when suddenly a huge snake lunged at him from the side. He quickly counter-attacks, killing the green pit viper in one sword strike, which lead to his cultivation progressing by 3. Looking at the loot left by the viper, which is all of normal grade, he is surprised, since in this game equipment drop rate is extremely low. He didn't expect so much equipment to drop from killing a few normal-grade vipers. Then he remembers his maxed innate luck. After that he goes back to hunting vipers to see how much more they would drop. After hunting, he not only got the 10 fangs for the blacksmith, but also got more than 100 poisonous arrows and many copper coins, earning quite big for his first hunt. He then heads back to the blacksmith and hands him the 10 fangs he wanted. Appreciating the quality of the fangs, he hands Lin Jichen a letter, saying that this is his opportunity. Looking at the letter, Lin Jichen thinks that this is it, the necessary item to join the sword sect. He asks the blacksmith who else besides him got the letter, to which the other replies that he's the only one for now. Then walks out thinking that he shouldn't waste his time like the newbies and join the sect as soon as possible. He then goes to the market and starts an auction to sell his bow. He says that he's selling the only green viper bow in the entire server, the highest bidder wins, and that he wouldn't be selling it weren't for earning money to marry a wife. The players start bidding with 500, then 1,000, 1,500, 1,800, until someone shouts 50,000. The players look at the person who shouted and see a group of hot women, so they start asking between themselves about their identity. The leader of the group, a pink-haired beauty, says that would pay cash and transfer immediately. Lin Jichen thinks the price is decent and was about to accept when someone else shouted 60,000. They look to the newcomer, who introduces himself as Wang Jinghao, the president of Wanshi Guild. While inwardly he's thinking that Lin Jichen is not simple to be able to get a weapon so soon after the server is launched, he would show his generosity first and then slowly win him over, so that would work for him sooner or later. Lin Jichen introduces himself while thinking that actually ran into him in his previous life. Upon reaching the top 10 in the leaderboards, this guild came to recruit him. After rejecting them, this president held a grudge against him and made him suffer many losses. Wang Jinghao says that since he's selling this bow to get married, he would pay all the money needed for the marriage as a gesture of becoming friends. Lin Jichen says there's no need, a gentleman does not accept charity, he is only willing to sell his item, so he hopes Wang Jinghao understands. Wang Jinghao says that he understood, and that for Lin Jichen to get a weapon so soon, he must be really capable. He says he admires this type of person and that his guild happens to lack this bow. The pink-haired fairy increases the price to 70,000, leading them to continue bidding against each other. Lin Jichen wonders where she's from, since she's not giving Wang Jinghao face at all. He wonders if he can use her to scam Wang Jinghao. She continues to bid, reaching 500,000, causing Wang Jinghao to get irritated and advising her not to go against him. The players around are shocked that she's willing to spend that much on beginner's equipment, so they start wondering about her background as well. She tells Wang Jinghao that the highest bidder wins and to keep his threats to himself. So, he turned around preparing to leave in anger, saying, fine, he won't buy it then, since he doesn't want to spend that much on newbie equipment. Lin Jichen calls out to him, telling him to wait. He asks what it is, to which Lin Jichen says that he's long heard the name of Wanshi Group. If he's willing to pay 500,000, he would sell him this bow. The beauty is shocked by this, and Wang Jinghao asks if he's serious, while thinking inwardly that he's smart for choosing him and grinning. Then he says that if Lin faces any trouble in the future, the Wanshi Group will help him. Then proceeds to ask for his account number so he could transfer him the money. Lin Jichen hands him the bow and thinks that he will leave a good impression on him for now and leech off him more in the future. Wang Jinghao then turns to the beauty, saying that since she's so beautiful, he won't hold a grudge against her. Looking at Wang Jinghao's retreating figure, Lin Jichen thinks of how stupid he is for being happy about being scammed out of 500,000, and that he would realize after using the bow at times that the poisonous arrows are limited. But the main thing is that he will use this bow to do a bunch of annoying beginner missions and waste a ton of time. The beauty turns to him in anger, asking why he went back on his words, since he's the one who said the highest bidder wins. He proceeds to call him a pathetic dog who bows to the strong. Meanwhile, he's thinking that it seems he angered her while scamming him. Watching them leave, he thinks that he should find a way to repay them. The scene then shifts to the wild boar forest, where the beauties are hunting small wild boars. Lin Jichen suddenly appears near the pink-haired fairy, saying that they are indeed here. She asks why he followed them here. He asks to talk privately. It won't take more than 2 minutes, he said. Reaching for her sword, she asks what he wants with her again. She thinks to herself that since he and Wang Jinghao didn't seem familiar with each other, he might have been deceived by his guild's reputation. So, she thinks of giving him another chance and some advice. Lin Jichen quickly replies to her that he has top-secret information for only 500,000. Saying that this information can help her guild get ahead of other players. She asks in suspension why he didn't sell this information to Wang Jinghao since he was begging him to support him just earlier. He replies that Wang Jinghao isn't worthy of supporting him, he was just playing around with him since he's still a nobody with no money nor power. Meanwhile, she's thinking that his attitude toward Wang Jinghao changed a little too quickly. After being urged by him to buy this information, she wonders if what he says is true, then this will be a missed opportunity if she didn't buy it. She agrees to the deal and sends him the money. Lin Jichen gets really happy that he made 1 million right after joining the game. Although money will become useless in the future, he still needs it for now. He then tells her to stop killing boars and accept the blacksmith's mission. She shouts angrily, thinking that he's trying to deceive her. She starts suspecting that he's someone sent by Wang Jinghao to scam them, in that case she would kill him in this forest. He quickly explains the method to get the quest and tells her to ask a subordinate to try it if she doesn't believe him, but she has to do it discreetly, otherwise this information will become worthless. Showing her the letter, he tells her that this reward is what's important. She gets surprised seeing the sword sect's invitation. He confirms her suspicion, saying that this letter will allow her to know the location of the sect and give her a chance to join. Finishing his explanation, he turns to leave but she stops him, asking why he sold her such important information, to which he says that doesn't know, maybe because she's quite pretty. Suddenly someone screams for her help, so she turns around to see her friends being chased by a huge boar. They apologize to her for attracting the area boss. She screams at them to retreat since they don't have enough people to fight a boss. Lin Jichen suddenly interjects saying that since they don't wish to fight it, he would do it. He asks to borrow her sword, so she throws it to him. He turns to face the boar, leaving the girls teasing their leader, thinking that he's just trying to show off in front of her. Seeing the boar charging at him, he jumps to the side and strikes at him with his sword. But the boss quickly throws him off with his tusks. Seeing that he can't deal any damage head-on, Lin Jichen decides to use his brain. So, he turns and runs away, leaving the girls to laugh at his antics, thinking that he gave up. He runs to a cliff and right before collision, he jumps back, leading the boar to strike the stone wall and losing a ton of health points. The boar turned to him groggily, so he lunges at him, dealing critical strikes. His eyes turning red, the boar charges at him again, to which he barely dodged. He continues to run around until he collides with the wall again. Seeing his opportunity, Lin Jichen strikes the killing blow to the boar's head. He gets a notification that his cultivation has reached 70 in the Qi refining stage and his talent activates, doubling his attributes. Stepping into the Qi refining stage, he thinks that he officially became a cultivator. He thanks his luck for his quick cultivation progress. His talent activates again, granting him a random talent. He gets the talent, Seed of Vitality, which increases his vitality by 10%, increasing his health, and it can be upgraded 3 times. His health at the moment is double that of others of his level thanks to his talents. He gets another notification saying that his achievement of killing this boss will be broadcasted to the world, and asks if he wants to hide his name. He declines to hide his name. Then a world announcement appears in front of all the players, congratulating him on his boss kill, and awarding him 200 points of reputation and 1 point of innate luck. The players are shocked by this, since the game just launched and someone already killed a boss. The pink-haired fairy looks at the notification in surprise and sees his name. Back to Lin Jichen, he looks at the loot, seeing a spiritual grade sword, a spiritual grade staff, and a spiritual grade movement technique. Seeing all the equipment, he confirms that having a maxed out innate luck is indeed different. The sky gets cloudy all of a sudden and he gets a notification that after 30 minutes, the heavenly tribulation will descend, which is the side effect of his talent. He has to overcome a tribulation after every breakthrough, or else his soul would disappear. Grabbing his loot, he rushes to the sect, maybe an expert can save him there. The girl tries to stop him, asking to be friends and to sell her any equipment in the future, but since he's in a hurry, he quickly accepts her friend's invitation and runs off, leaving her dumbfounded at his weird actions. Reaching the sect, he rushes up the stairs looking for an expert to save him. While running up, he shouted his name and his intention of seeking a master. The disciples are surprised by his actions, but looking at the sky they slowly begin to understand. Suddenly, the sect leader appeared in the sky, asking for the reason for the commotion. The disciples all bow their heads and greet her respectfully. Looking at the sky, she sees that it's a sign of a heavenly tribulation and wonders if one of the elder's direct disciples is breaking through. The elder are wondering the same thing, when Lin Jichen suddenly introduces himself. He runs towards her and begs to be saved with the invitation letter in his hand, since with his current ability, he's unable to withstand the power of the tribulation. Seeing the lightning descend, the sect master quickly casts a barrier around him, saving him just in time. He looks at the fading tribulation, thankful that he survived. The elders are surprised that he attracts tribulations even in the early stage of chi refinement. Thinking that he's a genius, they run towards him offering to be his masters. They even start arguing between themselves on who can offer him a better deal. Thinking that he struck gold, Lin Jichen decides to act a bit to appear overly eager and affect their impression of him. The sect master suddenly interjects, saying that she will accept him as her disciple, leaving the elders shocked since she doesn't usually accept disciples, but she made an exception for him. She faces Lin Jichen and asks him if he's willing to become her direct disciple and follow her into the inner hall to cultivate. Thinking that hit the jackpot, he quickly bows head and accepts eagerly. The sect master, Lang Feiyang, then accepts him as her disciple and tells him to follow her. Meanwhile, he's thinking that he just entered the sect and already found a thick leg to hug. In the inner hall, Lang Feiyang starts introducing the place. The Sword Palace is the core area of the sect. It is quiet and free from external disturbances. So, he will be cultivating here in the future. She says that in a while she would ask a disciple to give him the sect's newcomer package and she will lead him to his residence, to which he agrees. Turning to leave, she asks him to meet her at dawn in the main hall tomorrow. He cupped his hands and accepted. Thinking of her, he thinks that the sect master is cold and distant, so he should lay low and train himself secretly and slowly. 1 hour later, Lin Jichen is still waiting for the disciple, so he decides to look for his room by himself. Walking around, he sees many residences until he runs into a unique one. So he decides to walk in to take a look. Opening the door and walking in, he sees his master changing her clothes. She asks who it is and turns around in anger. He quickly bows, apologizing for his rudeness, but she strikes at him, sending him flying and asking who permitted him to barge into her residence. He kneels down and explains that the guiding disciple hadn't shown up after a long time and he wanted to familiarize himself with the surroundings, so he accidentally entered her residence, but he didn't do it on purpose. He curses inwardly at his bad luck, hoping that this doesn't affect her favorability towards him. Calming down a bit, she sighs and says that since didn't do it purposely she won't punish him this time. She takes out a purple bead, tosses it to him and says that in the future he is not allowed to enter this place without her permission. He inspects the pill and finds that it's a mystical grade violet jade pill. After consumption, for 5 minutes, all combat attributes increase by 30 and when not in combat, recover stamina by 3000. Seeing this description, he finds the sect master extremely generous for casually throwing him a mystical grade pill. He thanked her before leaving, but he couldn't bear to eat such a pill. So, he decides to keep it for now. While walking, the guiding disciple Nan Gongyue finally shows up calling him junior brother and asking him to come greet his senior sister. He greets her respectfully, to which she appreciates. She introduces herself and says that she has reached the final phase of the crystallization stage, so if he faces any problems in the future, she could help him. Her favorability increases by 10, making her current favorability of 10 as casual. Seeing her favorability go up at their first meeting, he confirms that good looks is indeed an advantage in this game. He continues to praise her beauty, to which she blushes and calls him a bootlicker. He tells her that there's a saying that goes, to improve your cultivation, you cannot just rely on learning. Instead of working hard foolishly every day, it's better to kiss some ass. She bursts out laughing and her favorability goes up by 5 again. Different favorability with different NPCs can trigger hidden quests and opportunities. The favorability system goes from 1 as familiar, to 100 as together till death. Usually, if the favorability of the opposite sex NPC reaches congenial love, there will be physical interactions. When reaching perfect unison, you can become a Dao couple and begin dual cultivation mode. But it's hard to farm favorability with NPCs. In his past life, there were many players who did not have a good ending. He suddenly coughs out blood, shocking his senior sister. She asks what's wrong with him, and when did he get hurt. He thinks that he needs medicine to heal his internal injuries, but remembers that this injury is closely related to this senior sister, so he decides to use this chance to get some compensation. He slowly stands up and tells her how he got hurt by his master after waiting for her. She admits that it was her fault since she got engrossed in a romance novel and was held up. She hands him a chi replenishing pill and urges him to eat it quickly. He thanks her, glad that he got another pill for free. She says it's her fault in the first place, to which he denies, saying he decided to walk around carelessly. Seeing him speak up for her even in this state, her favorability increases again by 5 and she decides to hand him a jade pendant as compensation. This pendant is a spiritual grade spirit gathering jade pendant. It gives 10 to defense, 5 to heart protection and 1% to mana recovery every second when not in combat. It also has a skill, Spirit Shield, which can block an attack from an enemy below the crystallization stage, with a cooldown of 15 minutes. A bit reluctant, he says that this is an incredible item even amongst spiritual grade equipment. She reassures him that it is nothing and that she has many other treasures. While guiding him to his residence, she introduces the Earth grade Spirit Gathering formation, which allows him to cultivate faster. A bit envious of him, she says that the one on her father's side is only of the mystical grade. He gets surprised by his master's generosity, since normal formations that players can use don't really help that much. She taps his shoulder and bids him farewell since she finished her mission. Sitting down to cultivate inside the formation, he finds it terrifying since meditating here is more than 10 times faster than normal at his stage. With this speed, if he logs out for 3 hours, his cultivation value will be maxed. And since he has nothing to do till tomorrow, he decides to log off. Back in his room, he checks his phone and sees that he has over 1,000,000 yuan in his bank account now. He shouts in joy, thinking that in just 5 hours he earned 1.6 million, so he can finally change his tragic fate in this life. Later, we see his friend riding her bike, and when she arrives at his place she knocks. When he opens the door, she asks why he called her over so early in the morning, since she was preparing to go to the stadium for a morning run. He says it's nothing and that he just wanted her to see his newly rented apartment. Going inside, she comments that it's not bad. He tells her that it costs 5,000 to 6,000 per month, and she asks jokingly if this is how he spent the gym membership fee she gave him. He responds in kind, saying that of course, he has no way to pay her back, so it's better to spend it all as soon as possible so that she would forget about it. She jumps on top of him and strangles him, saying how dare cheat her of her gym money. During her struggle on top of him, something rises, and it's not the shield hero. They both blush profusely and stop messing around. She then gets angry at him for daring to take advantage of her. He says he's not, while trying to block her punch. Suddenly someone calls out of the door saying that the gaming cockpit he bought has arrived. Lin Jichen asks him to wait a bit and explains to his friend that he earned some money in game and bought her a gaming cockpit, so she should take it from him first, otherwise, he would refund it immediately. She quickly accepts, and then they let the delivery men in. Watching the men bring the cockpit in, he tells her that he doesn't think it would fit in the dorm, and if he puts it in her house, her dad will probably break it. So she should just put it here at his place since he reserved a room for her. She agrees, and runs towards it laughing, saying that this cockpit is the newest, so she's gonna take pictures to share with her friends. Seeing her anger disappear just like that, he confirms that money indeed can solve 99% of all problems, so he should quickly get back online and earn more money. Back inside the game, we see him meditating with his master. She comments that he is indeed the best she'd seen, being able to almost break through in just a short few hours. He thanks her for her compliments and asks for advice on how to break through, since usually, a special elixir is needed to break through every realm. so want to test the waters first and see if his master has any elixirs that can help him break through. She takes out a pill, saying that if he takes this chi condensing pill, he will break through to the intermediate phase. He stretches his hands, ready to accept the pill, but she suddenly decides against it, saying that his talent is indeed good, but a truly strong person not only possesses a high cultivation, but also the experience of being through hundreds of battles. Thinking of his past life, he agrees, saying that flowers which are grown in a greenhouse are not suitable to tread on the path of cultivation, while massive trees that grow within a storm can gain eternal life. He thinks inwardly that he already discovered in his last life that cultivation realm can be improved by purchasing equipment with money, but combat experience can only be gained through actual battles. His master is pleasantly surprised by his insight, saying that he's more grounded than she imagined, which increased her favorability by 5. Shaking his head out of the delusion that his master will fall in love with him after seeing her favorability go up a bit, she tells him to go on a mission with chi refining stage difficulty, and once he completes the mission she would give him the pill. But before he leaves, she gives him the Tianyan Heart Sutra, which is a technique that every sect disciple has learned. The more he cultivated this technique, the more benefits he could reap. He thanks her before leaving, and then heads to the mission hall. On the way, he notices that many players have joined the sect, which isn't a big deal since many sharp people would have discovered the hidden quest anyways, and he has seized the opportunity and became a direct disciple already. Someone calls out to him, so he turns around to see the pink-haired beauty waving to him. Seeing that she managed to join the sect, he thinks that it's not bad, since the more friends there are, the more options he gets, so perhaps he could ask for her help in the future. Just after greeting each other, he turns to leave, saying that he still has a mission to complete, leaving him sullen since she hasn't even finished speaking and he's already gone. Her friend teases her by saying that the handsome guy is too cold, so it won't be easy to woo him. Su Wanling turns to her asking how she even came to that conclusion, to which her friend laughs it off. Back to Lin Jichen, he's waiting in line to pick a mission while studying the technique given to him when he was called up next. He goes to the receptionist and introduces himself, saying that he's here to pick a mission. Smiling at him, she advises him to pick a mission within his capabilities. Looking at the missions, he sees that the simplest is an herb collection quest, but he thinks it's a waste of time. The advanced missions are just about hunting beasts and won't help much in gaining combat experience. He looks toward the special mission with hell difficulty and chooses it, thinking that special missions can unlock special rewards, and since he learned the Heart Sutra, all his fighting attributes have increased by 5%. The mission is to help the sect find the lost secret technique with a warning below to low-level disciples. The mission description says that a chi refining stage disciple was killed outside and the secret technique he had was stolen, so he has to avenge this disciple and retrieve the lost secret sect technique. The rewards are 100 lower grade spiritual stones, 100 sect merit points, 1 upper grade chi condensing pill, 1 spiritual grade martial arts skill, and a hidden reward. The receptionist tries to dissuade him, saying that the person who killed the disciple is likely at the final phase of the chi refinement stage. He thanks her for her reminder, but insists on taking the mission. He then leaves towards Fengshu City. Arriving at an establishment he believes is the key to clearing this mission, he is welcomed by 3 pretty ladies urging him in. It turns out that this place is an intelligence gathering hub. Inside he finds a man reporting on Xuanwu Taoist Temple sect master reaching the divine transformation stage, bringing the strength of his sect up once again. Then he reports on the Fairy of 100 Flowers from Polar Sky Valley and the Great Elder of Crimson Sun sect tying the knot and becoming a couple. Since this man knows everything, big or small, Lin Jichen decides to listen patiently, and he is sure that he'll find a clue that way. The man eventually started reporting on what Lin Jichen wanted to hear. He said that the murderer of the disciple is a rogue cultivator in the finale phase of the chi refining stage named Zhou Hao. He is a ruthless individual from the demonic path. Finally getting the info he wanted, Lin Jichen decided to wait for the man to finish before running to him, asking to buy some information since he knows that in this game the more money you spend the better the clue you can get. The man agrees, to which Lin Jichen tosses him a pouch of money asking the whereabouts of Zhou Hao. The man informs him that Zhou Hao is a leecher who appears in the Red District in Fengshu City, so he can locate him there. He then tells him that he has another important piece of information if he's willing to pay for it. Unperturbed, Lin Jinchen pays the amount, and the man says that although Zhou Hao is just at the qi refining stage final phase, he has a big brother called Zhou Shen who is in the foundation stage, so he has to be careful. In Fengchu City's red light district, Zhou Hao is leaving a brothel dead drunk, unaware that Lin Jichen is closely monitoring him. When they reached a deserted location, Lin Jichen jumps out, causing Zhou Hao to turn and ask who it is. Lin Jichen says that he's here for his life, to which Zhou Hao smirks, seeing that he is just in the early stage of qi refinement. Zhou Hao then dashes towards him, ready to strike and confident in his strength. Lin Jichen easily dodged his attack, but Zhou Hao suddenly did a sword spin, causing Lin Jichen to be pushed back. Nonetheless, Lin Jichen still counterattacked, pushing Zhou Hao back and causing his expression to change. He exclaims that this is impossible. How can someone in the early stage have such strength? Jichen replies that it's not that he's powerful, it's just that he is weak, while inwardly praising the Heart Sutra for the 5% bonus. Zhou Hao then uses his saber slash technique, sending a sword slash toward Lin Jichen. Jichen calmly activates his shield that he got from his senior sister, blocking the attack completely. Seeing that his attack was useless, Zhou Hao gets close and starts launching a series of attacks, but Jichen easily dodges them all. Zhou Hao is shocked, and Lin Jichen decided that he had enough playing with him, so he decided to finish it and attacked with his sword. Receiving strike after strike, Zhou Hao's health is quickly plummeting. Pushing him to the ground, Jichen tells him to hand over the stolen technique. Seeing no way out, Zhou Hao starts begging for his life and agrees to give back what he stole, but suddenly, a sneak attack comes toward Jichen from the back. He quickly notices and jumps to the side, leading the strike to almost kill Zhou Hao instead. Seeing his brother, Zhou Hao is elated. He asks for his help and starts gloating at Lin Jichen. Looking at this brother of Zhou Hao, Lin Jichen can feel that the initial phase of the foundation stage is stronger than he thought. Seeing his little brother's pathetic sight, Zhou Shen starts reprimanding him for not listening to him and staying in the mountains. If he didn't notice him gone and came looking for him, he would have been dead. Zhou Hao admits his fault and asks Shen to avenge him. Zhou Shen turns to Jichen and tells him to hand over the spirit shield if he wants his corpse intact. Otherwise, he would carve him up so badly that he would wish that he was dead, to which Jichen laughs. Trying to recover with some elixirs, Zhou Hao suddenly receives a critical strike to the neck, causing him to choke on blood and slowly die. Zhou Shen is shocked by this speed. Lin Jichen turns to him and informs him that from the beginning he wasn't hunting Zhou Hao alone, but the both of them, so he could take twice the loot. Zhou Shen quickly attacks and Lin Jichen is unable to dodge, receiving some damage. He confirms that this fight is gonna be much harder than the last. Before he could stabilize his footing, Zhou Shen appeared behind him with incredible speed, but Jichen barely managed to block and get sent back, leaving tracks on the ground. Zhou Shen finds it humiliating that he can't kill a qi refinement stage opponent quickly, so he attacks again, causing some damage on Jichen. The latter regrets using his shield earlier since he has to wait 15 minutes to use it again. He uses his shadow steps to move backward and create some distance, but Zhou Shen uses his own movement technique and surrounds him from all sides. Knowing from his past life's experiences how to deal with this cloning technique, he quickly finds the real body and stabs him, dealing a critical hit, but it doesn't do much damage. He activates his penetrating ability that lasts for 5 seconds and deals more damage to Zhou Shen, causing him to cough up blood. In anger, he unleashes his energy, sending Jichen flying back. He lunges at Jichen, and uses his sword technique, dealing a lot of damage since Jichen can't block them all. With his health falling by a third, Lin Jichen is determined not to die and lose his advantage, so he takes out the violet jade pill and quickly eats it as his last resort. With his health back to full, Jichen calmly watches Zhou Shen's attack land on his shoulder, but it deals no damage. Knowing that the pill has a time limit, he quickly began his counterattack, leaving Zhou Shen shocked at his sudden strength, so he decides to defend for now and wait for the effects of the pill to stop. Slowly having grasped the essence of swordsmanship, Lin Jichen's attacks are getting sharper. With his health almost at the bottom, Zhou Shen thinks that Jichen must be an important disciple of the sword sect, so he cannot let him go, otherwise the consequences would be severe. He launched his ultimate attack Soul Chase, but Jichin uses his shadow steps to dodge, shocking Zhou Shen. He quickly appears in front of Zhou Shen and deals the killing blow. With Zhou Shen's death, he receives a notification that the Hell difficulty mission is complete. Thinking that he earned big during this trip, he decides to collect the loot and go back to the sect to submit the mission. But before he returns, he thinks of something he has to do. Since it's his first time carrying out a mission outside the sect, he thinks of giving his master a gift, so he heads to Fengshu City Market. Walking around the market and thinking of increasing his favorability with his master, he wonders what to give her. Then thinks of the saying, a woman can never have too many accessories, so he goes to an accessory store. A while later, he is back at sect, submitting his completed mission. The receptionist looks at him in amazement, saying that he's amazing and asking how he did it so quickly. Hearing this, the disciples are all shocked by this accomplishment. Complimenting him on his bright future, the receptionist hands him his rewards with 100 lower grade spiritual stones as a bonus. The players and disciples flock to him, asking him questions and offering him to join their guilds. Some female players even offer their bodies in exchange of being carried through the game. He politely declines and hurriedly escapes, but he is still chased by them until they reach the inner sect where the guards stop them. Reaching his master's residence, he kneels before her and announces his return. She says she heard that he completed a Hell difficulty mission, to which he confirms. She asks him why he chose a Hell one, when she just told him to choose a hard one. If he failed, he would have died and their sect would lose a genius. He accepts her reprimand, so she says to just forget it. She then asks about the cultivation realm of his opponent. He reports that he originally thought that the opponent was in the QI refining stage, but didn't expect him to have a brother in the foundation establishment stage. His master asks in surprise if he killed a foundation stage cultivator, to which he explains that he had to use the elixir given to him by her, or else he wouldn't have made it. She tells him that the gap between cultivation realms is extremely great, so he has to be more vigilant in the future and not act recklessly. Handing him a talisman, she says that he is the most talented disciple in the sect, so he should keep this talisman and only use it in life and death situations. Inwardly she thinks that she didn't expect his fighting aptitude to be so high. He's really a once-in-a-thousand-years talent. The talisman's description says that it contains a wisp of Leng Feiyan's soul sealed within and can only be used once. It cannot be used in battles with other players either. He gladly accepts the talisman. She then hands him the chi condensing pill she promised, and seeing that he completed a Hell level mission, she gives him another one as a reward. He thanks her profusely, promising not to disappoint her. She then says that the thing he lacks the most right now is sword techniques, so he can exchange for them at the scripture library. He asks her to wait and gives her the jade hair pin he bought her as a gift, saying that he couldn't buy her a jeweled hair pin, so he could only buy an ordinary one, so he hopes she likes it. She looks at it and says to cultivate diligently and not slack off before disappearing. Seeing her cold reaction, he wonders if she didn't like it, but suddenly receives a +5 favorability notification, pleasantly surprising him. Walking out of her residence, he sees a huge explosion in the distance and decides to check it out. He arrives at the location, where he sees Elder Tianqing lamenting his failure at refining the Eternal Youth Pill. He announces to the spectators that he is one of the 12 great elders of the Sword Sect and needs a medicinal catalyst to refine an elixir, so he asks if anyone is willing to help him find one. Seeing that it's a Hell level mission again, the players refuse to step up, except for Lin Jichin, who bows and says that he is willing to help find him the yin replenishing herb. Looking at Jichin, he remembers him as that cold girl's newly accepted direct disciple. While Jichin is thinking that this elder is the best alchemist in the sect, so if he builds a good relationship with him, it will definitely benefit him. Lin Jichin reaches the Medicine Valley at nighttime. According to his previous life's memories, a boss-level monster like the Spirit Falcon will usually appear near places where herbs grow well. He suddenly notices something and sees that a group of players are already fighting the boss. With his health reaching the halfway point, the Falcon uses a shockwave attack to send the player flying back. Jichin calls them noobs inwardly for struggling against a single boss. He thinks that they will be wiped out soon by the Falcon, so he should negotiate with them to let him have the boss. The players notice Jichin approaching, and it turns out to be the guild of the female fairies. Wrangling and her friends approach him and he politely asks them to let him have the boss since he needs it for a mission. He thinks that since it's Su Wangling's guild, this should be easy. A white-haired beauty interjects and asks Wangling if she knows him, to which the latter says that he's the expert she told her about, the one who shocked all the players and the one who sold them the information about the blacksmith's mission. Wrangling speculates that he's here to capture the boss to receive the Tianyan Heart Sutra, unaware that he already had it. The white-haired beauty says that the boss is equally important to them, Moon Shadow Guild, so they can't just give it to him even though they're on good terms. Su Wangling agrees to tell him that. She approaches Lin Jichen and apologizes, saying that their boss needs this falcon for a mission, so he should wait for it to respawn tomorrow. He sighs and says that he knew this wouldn't be easy, but then smiles confidently and says that looking at their battle, he probably won't need to wait for it to respawn. The boss suddenly shrieks, making all the players around feel dizzy. And using that opportunity, he lunges at them, one-shotting them one by one. The leader and Su Wangling get shocked seeing this, and Jichen tells them that he was about to inform them that when the boss's health reaches 50%, he will release a pollen that stuns player. The pollen will reduce your physical energy and increase skill cooldown, so he wishes them good luck fighting it. The leader tells Wangling to ignore Jichen and rushes to join the battle. She uses an earth spell to bind the falcon in place, limiting his movements, and then she casts Blazing Fire Lantern, a fire spell. The spell explodes on the boss and takes out a huge chunk of his health. Jichen sighs inwardly, thinking that this kind of move will only infuriate the falcon. Once the wrath value of the falcon reaches a certain point, not only will his attack speed increase, but his damage will rise as well. The whole falcon turns red with eyes glowing and charges towards the leader with his beak wide open. Su Wangling shouts for her to be careful, but she still got hit, losing most of her health with that single attack. She tries to focus and uses Stone Rain spell to push the falcon off of her. Jichen calls out for her and asks if she's dumb. He tells her that he can teach her the method to deal with this falcon in exchange for the yin replenishing Erbid drops, and asks if she agrees. They instantly agree, and he tells them that the falcon has the highest hatred towards the leader, and yet she uses Stone Rain to make it even angrier. Her health is already at the bottom. Once the falcon recovers from her Stone Rain, he will kill a fragile mage like her in one strike. He guides her hand that is holding the wand and instructs her to use Stone Rain together with Immortal Earth Bind for the maximum amount of damage. Since her cooldown should be over, he tells her to use it now and listens to what he says, casting the Earth Bind and trapping the falcon. He compliments her and tells her to control the opponent from afar and let her teammates deal damage. She gets excited seeing the raid finally going smoothly and thanks him for his guidance. Suddenly someone announces that the Blood Fiend Guild is clearing the area, prompting Lin Jichen to look at the newcomers. Their leader says that he wants that boss, so they should stop everything and leave quietly, otherwise, don't blame him for being rude. Su Wangling informs her leader that the Blood Fiend Guild is a major guild in the gaming circles and they don't have enough players, so what should they do? The leader tells her that they'll fight. If they give in once, they'll do it again every time they meet. Even if they lose, they must show them the fighting spirit of their guild. At the very least, they can't lose their pride, to which Wangling agrees. The leader laments the shame of giving up on the falcon when its health is so low in order to fight the Blood Fiend Guild. Jichen interjects and says that he can help them deal with the falcon, but when things are over, apart from the herb, he gets to choose one of the equipment it drops. They agree, and Su Wangling says that she'll leave some player to assist him, but he rejects her offer and tells her to focus on the guild battle and leave this falcon to him alone. The leader of the Blood Fiend Guild starts laughing loudly and says that he's delusional for wanting to solo the falcon at the Chi refining final phase. He orders his men to charge and deal with this third-rate small guild. Moon Shadow Guild rushes in as well and a big PvP battle begins. The Blood Fiend Guild slowly starts to overwhelm them with their superior numbers and eventually surround them. They start mocking them and saying that they'll send them to the beginner village right now. The leader says that this is their fate for daring to fight with the Blood Fiend Guild. They should consider this a lesson for an inferior guild such as them. He thinks inwardly that the game only launched a few days ago and he already destroyed a guild. How dominating is that? Once he kills the boss later, it will be perfect. A sudden announcement appears in the sky and one of the Blood Fiend informs his leader to take a look. He gets surprised and looks at the announcement, seeing that congratulates Lin Jichin for being the first to kill a Qi refining boss. His rewards are 400 reputation points, 2 innate charisma points and 1 achievement medal. This announcement shocked the Blood Fiend leader and his goons. Jichin, on the other hand, turns to the ladies and tells them that he finished dealing with the Falcon, so they should come and split the loot. The leader of the Blood Fiends shouts how dare he steal his boss, is he tired of living? He continues saying that this guy who can solo a boss at that level will definitely become a big problem in the future. He must kill him immediately and steal his equipment to disrupt his leveling momentum. He orders his men to kill him and says that he'll reward whoever does it handsomely. A player shouts that he'll do it and appears behind Jichin, saying that he's a UFC fighter in real life. His one punch has the force of 20 years of training, and uses a fist technique Yo strike Jichin. But Jichin easily dodges to the side before the other could even finish his words and counter-attacks with his sword, dealing enormous damage. Jichin has played as a mage for 9 years in his previous life and has faced countless sneak attacks, so it's quite easy to deal with that punch. The other player gets shocked and wonders how is his reaction speed so fast, this should be impossible. Jichin deals a second strike, killing him instantly. The Blood Fiends get shocked by how easily he dealt with the guy, and Jichin tells them that just because he didn't cause trouble for them, doesn't mean that he's afraid of them. He doesn't care about their guild battles, but if he dares cause trouble for him, then he better be careful. They call him arrogant and 4 of them charge at him this time, thinking that they can overwhelm him with numbers. Lin Jichin scoffs, calls them stubborn and uses Frost Moon Slash technique to instantly kill all 4 of them at the same time. He then coolly turns to the Blood Fiends and asks if they're going to keep coming or what. Grasping the situation, the Blood Fiend leader says that they will retreat first and deal with him in the future. The white-haired fairy thanks him happily for his help and he tells her that it's no big deal. They turn to the loot the Falcon dropped and see that many items were dropped this time. Jichin says that as per their agreement, he gets the herb and an additional piece of equipment. The girls are still shocked that 6 items dropped at once, since they've never seen a monster dropping so much equipment. The leader says that he killed the Falcon by himself, so they have no rights to receive equipment, all of it belongs to him. He refuses, saying that they fought the Falcon first, he's gained a lot by stealing the first kill and he will pick 1 item as their repayment. While Jichin checks the loot, the girls start whispering in the back. Wangling suddenly does a transfer and sends 5 million yuan to Jichin, surprising him greatly. The leader then introduces herself as Zhang Luo Yu, the president of the Moon Shadow Guild. He shakes her hand and introduces himself as Lin Jichin, a lone wanderer. Thinking of her name, he finds it familiar somehow. He suddenly recalls that in his previous life, he saw her name on the ranking list. She was the second most powerful mage cultivator after him. But that's not worth mentioning. More importantly, she is the daughter of the richest man in Chonghai City. He starts rubbing her hand, trying to soak up some of her prosperity. Su Wangling coughs loudly and tells him that that's enough, to which he laughs awkwardly, saying that he was thinking of something and didn't do it on purpose. He gets pissed off and thinks inwardly that he didn't care about her before. She thought it was because he was focused on his career, but it turns out he didn't think she was pretty enough. He turns to leave and bids them farewell since everything is fine now. Zhang Luo Yu says to Wangling with a blush on face that her friend seems like a pretty nice person, to which Wangling asks with an annoyed look what's good about him. He just took advantage of her, it's obvious he has ulterior motives. Annoyed, she wonders what's with that shy look on her face. Is she also interested in Master Lin? Zhang Luo Yu tells her to give each member who participated in today's gang war a bonus of 50,000 yuan as a celebration. Meanwhile, spying on them from afar is a girl called Luxiazi. She is the most popular female streamer on the server. She turns to her chat and announces that she, today, not only took them along to enjoy an epic guild battle, but also let them see a top-tier pro player in action, so they shouldn't forget to hit that follow button. The chat starts cheering and donating, and she says that that was Master Lin, the player who took down a boss in the late stage of chi refinement. That kind of strength is admirable, and on top of that, he's so handsome. So she shouts that she, Lu Xiaozi, declares that Lin Jichen is the #1 player in this game, and she's decided that he's going to be her idol, her crush. Watching the stream in the real world, the Blood Fiend's guildmaster curses angrily. He says in anger that they killed his guildmates, robbed their guild's boss, and now they're trying to get famous off their backs. He curses Lin Jichen, destroying a vase and saying that if he sees him in the game again, he'll kill him. In the meantime, Jichen headed back to the sect and arrived at the Elder's quarters. He announces his presence and the completion of his mission. The Elder tells him to put the herb on the table over there, and since he helped the old man find it, he throws him a small box as his reward. Jichen thanks the Elder and takes a look inside the box. What he finds is 3 spirit-grade attribute pill that increases 1 combat attribute permanently by 1 to 5 points. And there is also a spirit-grade bracelet that adds 5 to speed, 8% to dodge and minus 10% to body skill cooldown. After checking these rewards, Jichen turns to the Elder and asks if he perhaps still doesn't know the formula for the Eternal Youth Pill. In his previous life, he saw an announcement that Elder Tianqing tried 99 times before finally making the Eternal Youth Pill. If he tells him the formula of the pill, will he get some goodwill? The Elder confirms that he tried a dozen times but all failed. Without a formula, all he can do is feel his way through the process. He then turns to Jichen and asks if he knows anything about the pill, to which Jichen pretends to ponder and says that he remembers reading an old book that said something about it, and then starts narrating all the ingredients one by one. The Elder gets shocked by this, says that he had such a miraculous encounter, and asks him to wait. After getting ready, he tells Jichen to watch from the side and remind him if the proportions are wrong, to which Jichen naturally agrees. After following the formula, the cauldron's lid flies off and 2 pills shoot up in the air. The Elder starts laughing, shouting that he finally made it. And since Jichen has done him a great favor, he gives him one of the pills he just concocted. His favorability with the Elder shoots up by 20 points, and the Eternal Youth Pill is an Earth-grade pill that increases innate charm by 5 points. 5% increase in favorability of the opposite sex NPC, and if gifted to an NPC of the opposite sex, it will increase their favorability by 10 to 20 points. Jichen smiles seeing this and thinks that Elder Tianqing is so generous. This Eternal Youth Pill is extremely rare. Even if he knows the recipe, it's still hard to make it without the skills of a 9th-grade master like the Elder. Seems like he made a fortune this time. He bows and thanks the Elder profusely, and says that he'll take his leave now, thinking that he must hurry back and give this pill to his master. The more she favors him, the more benefits he'll get. The Elder asks him to hold on, confusing Lin Jichen. He asks him if he likes the art of alchemy. He would like to take him as his disciple and teach him alchemy. Is he willing? This proposal shocked Jichen greatly. Suddenly, his master, the sect leader, pops up asking the Elder if he has the heart to take away her only disciple. Seeing her appear here, Jichen starts sweating and wonders why she's here at this moment. He never intended to agree to the Elder's request. The Elder responds that she's mistaken. He had no intention of stealing her disciple. It's just that her disciple is quite talented in alchemy, and he liked him so much that wanted to teach him the art. Fei Yan says that she understands in that case. Jichen heaves a sigh of relief inwardly, thinking that she's probably not angry. She looks like a cold and aloof fairy. It's obvious she has a very stable emotional state. The sect master continues saying that she feels her disciple is more talented in cultivation than alchemy. What the sect needs most is not alchemists, but powerful immortals. But he doesn't have to feel sorry. If her disciple's cultivation level improves a bit more, she'll let him take the Elder as his master. Jichen shivers and wonders why she's looking at him like that. Could it be that she's angry? The elder on the other hand smiles and agrees. Then, he turns to leave to go back to his alchemy, so he tells them to do as they please. She orders Jichen to follow her to the palace. She has something to tell him, to which he sweats and wonders why he feels like her tone is not nice. It's like she's trying to settle a score with him. When they reach her quarters, the first thing she says is that he seems like he's dissatisfied with her as his master. So why don't they dissolve their master-disciple relationship and he can find a new teacher? This shocked Jichen, who inwardly cursed that she really misunderstood him. He bows quickly and begs her not to do so, saying that if he keeps admitting his mistakes, how could he have the face to stay in the sect, and admits that he was wrong. She provokes him by asking what did he do wrong. Did she say that he was wrong? He replies that his mistake was not focusing on his cultivation as she advised, but instead wasting time helping Elder Tianqing with alchemy. He admits that he let her down. She ponders for a while and he sees that her expression has softened quite a bit, so he needs to keep pushing. He shouts loudly that she's the best master in the world. Her cultivation is unrivaled, and her beauty is unparalleled like a celestial being. With a master like her, why would he want to follow anyone else? He insists that she truly misunderstood him. He looks at her calm face and sees that her favorability has increased by 5, reaching 15 as their current favorability. He pumps his fist inwardly and thinks that his master is expected. His master falls for this kind of talk. Looks like he doesn't need to worry about being expelled as a disciple. She tells him that since he realized his mistake, she won't hold it against him this time, to which he thanks her for her generosity and promising to never make such mistakes again. He then proceeds to offer her the pill he got earlier as a gift from her disciple and a token of apology. She gets shocked seeing the extremely rare Eternal Youth pill and asks where he got it from. He replies that he got it from Elder Tianqing after helping him refine 2 pills. Seeing such a precious pill, she tells him that he doesn't need to give it to her and should keep it for himself, to which Jichen thinks that she's way too proud, so he needs to find a way to make her accept it. He forcibly puts the box in her hand and says that specifically asked Elder Tianqing for this pill to give to her. He tells her that the reason he wanted to learn alchemy from the elder was to learn how to refine the Eternal Youth pill. In the future, he'll make one for her every day, so she can eat them like meals. She smiles gently and he really can't resist his master's smile. He continues saying that although her celestial beauty doesn't require an Eternal Youth pill, this is his heartfelt intention, so he hopes she'll accept it to ease his mind. She smiles, puts the box in her storage space and agrees to accept the pill. As soon as she does, he receives a notification that his favorability increased by 20 points, reaching 35 and making their relationship close. She says that since that's the case, she can't accept his gift without giving him something in return. She just remembered a chi refining technique that would suit him well, so she'll go fetch it for him. He thinks that as expected, the higher the favorability, the better the benefits. Giving her the pill was definitely the right move. She tells him to follow her, to which Jichen agrees, and seeing the hairpin he gave her thinks happily that he didn't expect her to wear it quietly. After receiving the technique from his master, he sits down to digest it and then gathers his energy and stands up and uses the technique. Seeing the result, he thinks that this technique is too powerful. The damage of this AoE skill is twice as high as Frost Moonslash, and it can interrupt others' techniques with a crippling effect. If he puts it up for auction, he could trade it for a house in a second-tier city. Suddenly, his senior sister barges in calling for him. He asks why she's looking for him this late, to which she says that has a small favor to ask of him. She explains that as a disciple of the Sword Sect, she needs to complete at least 3 tasks during each major realm. She hasn't done any tasks since reaching the crystallization realm, and she feels like she's about to break through. If she doesn't complete a task soon, she'll be penalized. He asks why she didn't do the tasks earlier, and she tells him to blame it on those romance novels being too engrossing that she completely forgot about the tasks. She grabs his hand and says that she's short of 1 demon-slaying task. The task requires 2 people to complete it, so she needs a partner. He exclaims in surprise and then agrees to help her, thinking that since she took good care of him, it would be disloyal of him not to help her. She shouts in joy that he's the best and tells him not to worry, she'll protect him during the task and won't let him get hurt. Her favorability increases by 10 points, reaching 25, and he gets a quest to help Nangong Yu complete her task and slay the demon at Wango village. Later, when they reach the village, they descend from the air and she says that this village has been invaded by malevolent spirits and all the villagers have become their sustenance. It's likely the work of a demonic cultivator. The sect wants them to eliminate all the spirits and investigate the truth to report to the elders. Jichen inspects the place and thinks that this is the village. In the future, it will become the entrance to Blood Infant Secret Realm for Crystallization Realm cultivators. In his past life, he farmed here countless times. They enter a certain courtyard and continue searching diligently until they reached a glowing well. The well started trembling, which shocked the duo, and then a huge spirit shot out from inside. Nangong Yu unsheaths her sword and tells Jichen to be careful. She takes the lead and tells him not to be afraid and that she'll protect him. More spirits start to gush out of the well, shocking Jichen by their numbers. He thinks that these spirits are only at the initial stage of chi refinement and scary individually, but if hundreds gather together, the difficulty changes drastically. His senior sister says that it seems like the villagers of the entire village turned into malevolent spirits by the demonic cultivator in that house. For him to commit such atrocities, Nangong Yu vows to exterminate him and uphold justice. Jichen joins her and says that he'll support her. She pours energy into her sword and then slashes out, killing many of them. She rushes towards the house and shouts for the demonic cultivator to show himself, promising to end his pathetic life. Jichen thinks that she's much more reliable than she seems. Her combat power far exceeds his expectations. A huge energy hand suddenly rushes at Nangong Yu from inside the house and Jichen shouts for her to be careful. She parries it with her sword with some difficulty. Jichen asks if she is all right and she confirms her safety while staring at her sword that was slightly corroded. A creepy laughter sounded out and the door of the house flew off. A figure emerges from the smoke while saying that he was cultivating here and seems to have attracted the disciples of the sword sect. They had a path to heaven but chose not to take it, so don't blame him for sending them to hell. Jichen exclaims that he's a cultivator at the initial stage of Golden Core, and she asks in disbelief how could that be possible and if the sect's information was wrong. He tells her that judging by his aura, he must have just broken through. The evil cultivator comments that his cultivation is low, but his eyesight is good. He confirms that he just broke through to the Golden Core realm, and if he turns them into spirits, his power will increase even more, then prepares to attack. Nangong Yu charged forward while telling Jichen to step back so wouldn't get hurt. Her opponent shouts that she dares to challenge his ghost puppets. He'll make her replace them as his puppet. They both clash several times and then Nangong Yu charges her energy and releases it towards him. Jichen thinks that in a battle of this level, it's best for a small cultivator like him to stay back. Better not be careless or else he'll end up at the beginner village. The demonic cultivator takes out a demonic gourd, thinking that this little girl is more troublesome than he thought, so he'll have to summon the demon infant for help. He throws the demonic gourd with force past Nangong Yu, which confuses her. The gourd lands in front of Lin Jichen and then smoke starts bellowing from it. The smoke then takes the shapes of a demonic baby shrieking loudly. Checking its stats, Jichen sees that it's an evil spirit called Ghost Mother Blood Infant with an elite level. The infant extends his tongue towards Nangong Yu's back, so Jichen slashes it off with his sword, dealing critical damage. He assures his senior sister that he can handle this infant so she can focus on her fight. The infant screams that he'll eat his heart and his liver, to which Jichen responds by slashing it with his sword, dealing more critical damage. The infant reaches its second stage and transforms into bats that swarm around him. This technique is called Blood Bat Sound. It disrupts the mind and reduces agility skills by 30%. He tries to calm his mind and convinces himself to not let them interfere with him. Then he pours energy into his sword and uses his newly learned technique, Phoenix Feather Strike. The strike dealt with the bats effectively and he managed to break through them with glowing eyes. The AoE effect of the skill crippled the bat, leaving them helpless for slaughter. On the other side of the battlefield, Nangong slams her opponent into the ground and he curses, not willing to accept defeat. Jichen thinks that this seemingly delicate and cute senior is not to be underestimated, he truly misjudged her before. Their enemy scoffs and says that even if he dies, he won't let them have peace and throws a wooden box in Nangong Yu. She instinctively takes a defensive posture and slashes the box in half, causing smoke to bellow out and cover her. Jichen shouts for her to cover her mouth and nose, saying that that is a demonic insect. But it's too late as her skin has turned red, eyes pink, and she's having trouble breathing. He dashes to help her as she falls to the ground and asks if she's okay. She breathes heavily while trying to remove her clothes and begs him not to look at her. He closes his eyes in embarrassment and agrees. The demonic insect is a creature that stimulates human desires. This must be her encountering such a sinister trick, which is why she was completely defenseless and fell for it. She starts calling for him coquettishly and her favorability starts shooting up. This sudden increase surprised him, but after thinking he deduced that this sudden increase isn't real, it's just the effect of the demonic insect. She continues calling for him, saying that she's uncomfortable and asking for his help. She gets close to his face with her eyes closed, reaching for a kiss. Jichen blushes and thinks of what would happen if he sleeps with her right now. Then he pulls himself together and pushes her away, thinking that if he did that, when she wakes up, she'll realize everything. By then, at best her favorability will drop to 0 and at worst, she might turn against him and kill him in a fit of rage. After finally getting such a great start, securing a powerful backer, he can't ruin his future over one night of passion. He looks back and stares at the well, thinking that he remembers that this ancient well has some special pills, but there's a formation below, which isn't difficult for a cultivator at the crystallization stage to withstand, but he's only at the chi refining stage. He hardens his resolve and dashes towards the well, thinking that he can't worry about that right now. He tells his senior sister to hold on, he is going to find her an antidote. He jumps down the well that's swirling with ghost spirits. He lights a torches and searches the place, thinking that these bones seem to be the remains of the villagers. The yin energy here is intense. He finally reaches a barrier and takes a lot of damage. He thinks inwardly that needs to find the pill quickly. If this continuous damage lasts too long, he won't be able to hold out either. He then notices a shiny thing on top of a pile of bones and thinks that finally found it. The pills should be inside that healing potion. He charges towards it but starts getting repelled by the formation, so he uses his spirit shield and quickly grabs the bottle. He quickly retreats and thinks that he needs to go back quickly. He charges up the well and the formation's attack continues chasing him, making him realize that he can't dodge this one. He gets hit in the back by the yin thunder, almost losing his entire health bar. The strikes propel him outside and he lands near his senior sister. He gets a warning notification saying that yin energy has entered his body, causing critical damage, so it's triggering unconscious state. He approaches Nangong Yu and pours the antidote down her throat before coughing up blood and losing consciousness, causing him more damage. She starts shouting and cursing, calling him a bastard and a beast, thinking that he did the deed while she was in a bad state, and her favorability towards him dropped to 0. The senior sister's favorability towards Lin Jichen plummeted to 0. However, as she calmed down, her gaze fell upon the healing potion, recognizing it as a medicinal item. She then recalled how he had controlled his desires for her, how he had pushed her away, and immediately sought the antidote. Regret welled up inside her as she realized she had misunderstood her junior brother. He had risked his life to save her. Her attention shifted to the ancient well, within which she saw flashes of thunder. She recalls that there was an infant formation inside. She wondered if he had entered it solely to save her. The thought drove her to rush to him, only to find marks of an attack on his back. Overwhelmed with guilt, she wept, lamenting that he had suffered because of the formation inside the ancient bell. Tears streamed down her face as she continued crying, Realizing how terribly she had misjudged him, she begged him for forgiveness, lifting him up with determination. She resolved to bring him back to the sect as soon as possible, knowing she needed her grandfather's help. Carrying Lin Jichen, she reassured him that he must hold on, vowing to nurse him back to health. After some time, they reached the sect. As she carried Lin Jichen inside, murmurs arose among the disciples. Many recognized her, wondering why the renowned fairy of the Seahorse Palace was personally carrying a player. Speculations spread, with some questioning the player's status and closeness to the NPC, expressing their own desire for such treatment. Others called out to her, trying to gain her attention. Among the onlookers, a particular disciple clenched his fists as another informed him that the man she carried was Lin Jichen, the disciple of the sect master. Doubt and suspicion filled the disciple's mind, as he suspected something inappropriate was happening. He turned to his senior brother, insisting that they needed to take action. The senior brother, Tianji, was visibly angered upon hearing Lin Jichen's name. However, the senior sister paid no mind to the discussions around her. She focused on taking Lin Jichen to safety. Some time passed, and Lin Jichen finally regained consciousness. He found himself in an unfamiliar place, confused about how long he had been unconscious. Before him stood a figure radiating an immensely powerful aura, one that Lin Jichen found comparable to Elder Tianyu. He soon learned that this elder was Tianyuan, a formidable figure. As his thoughts raced, Lin Jichen considered the damage he had sustained due to the infant formation. He acknowledged that he was fortunate to have survived, but he remained uncertain about who had saved him, his senior sister or this mysterious elder. Overwhelmed with questions, he quickly stood and respectfully introduced himself as an inner sect disciple, expressing his deep gratitude for having his life saved. He earnestly requested the elder's name, declaring that he would never forget this kindness. The elder dismissed his gratitude, stating that it was unnecessary. Then, with a stern expression, he introduced himself as Tianyuan, of the Nangong family, merely a character within the vast Yun continent. Lin Jichen's mind spun as he made a connection. This elder shared his senior sister's surname. Astonished, he realized the significance of this encounter. If this was her grandfather, then having his support would be invaluable. Seizing the opportunity, he bowed deeply, formally greeting the elder and acknowledging his life-saving grace. However, Tianyuan remained unmoved. With a sharp gaze, he issued a warning. He made it clear that Lin Jichen was never to go near his granddaughter. Lin Jichen was taken aback by the hostility. The elder's tone grew colder as he stated that even if Lin Jichen was a disciple of the sect master, it would not matter to him. Should Lin Jichen ever cross the line, there would be dire consequences. At that moment, the senior sister arrived and interjected. She reminded her grandfather of his promise not to treat Lin Jichen this way or speak such harsh words to him. Upon hearing her plea, the elder's demeanor shifted. He quickly claimed that he had only been joking and that she should not take his words seriously. He reassured her that the boy was not so bad, after all, he had saved her life. He then questioned how she could show such disrespect to someone who had saved his only granddaughter. The senior sister turned to Lin Jichen, asking how his injuries were. Meanwhile, the elder continued to glare at him, his eyes filled with suspicion. Lin Jichen, keenly aware of the elder's hostility, resolved to behave cautiously. He thanked his senior sister for her concern, assuring her that he was fine because of her help. She expressed relief, explaining that he had been unconscious for a long time. The power of the infant formation had surged inside his body, forcing her to bring him to her grandfather as quickly as possible. If she had been even slightly late, the energy might have spread throughout his internal organs, causing severe damage. Lin Jichen felt a wave of shyness as he acknowledged his debt to her. He struggled to find the right words to express his gratitude. However, his senior sister, equally flustered, told him not to dwell on it, reminding him that he had saved her life as well. She insisted that there was no need for formalities between them. Lin Jichen agreed, yet before he could say more, the elder burst into a coughing fit, his voice echoing through the hall. Lin Jichen quickly backtracked, insisting that formalities were still necessary. His senior sister softened, appearing somewhat confused by his reaction. After a moment, she admitted that she truly owed him her life. If not for his selfless actions, entering the bell and searching for the antidote, she might not have survived. Though she had misunderstood him greatly, she now recognized his true character and sincerely apologized. She declared that he was an honorable and righteous person. Hearing this, the elder's expression darkened further. Lin Jichen felt a foreboding sense of danger. If this continued, their relationship would soon take an awkward turn. Meanwhile, the elder's anger continued to mount, his frustration growing more intense with each passing moment. His screams echoed within the hall, revealing the depth of his fury. Lin Jichen observed this with concern and remarked internally that his senior sister's grandfather must be sick. He considered offering to find medicinal herbs if that would help ease the coughing. However, before he could voice his thoughts, his senior sister dismissed his concerns, reassuring him that there was no need to worry so much. She stated that the old man was not in such dire condition and only required some rest to recover. The elder then turned to Lin Jichen and, with an air of authority, instructed him to follow. He declared that he would bestow a reward upon him for his recent actions. Once he received it, he was to take the spirit beast and leave immediately. Without delay, Lin Jichen followed the elder, arriving at a vast forest. The sight before him was astonishing. An extensive sanctuary filled with countless creatures. His heart swelled with excitement upon witnessing the scene. The elder asked Lin Jichen whether he found the spirit beast garden impressive. He inquired whether this place, known as the Beast Taming Forest, lacked anything compared to other such places. Lin Jichen observed that the elder's spirit beast garden was indeed grand, yet he sensed an opportunity to provoke the elder just enough to elicit an additional reward. He had heard that the beast taming sect possessed a great variety of spirit beasts, yet here, he only saw ordinary ones. He questioned whether this place differed significantly from the beast taming sect. The elder, upon hearing this, scoffed at the comparison. He argued that while the beast taming sect may possess a large quantity of spirit beasts, his own garden did not rely on sheer numbers. Instead, the beasts here were unparalleled in quality. Lin Jichen, feigning doubt, commented that despite the grandeur, he had yet to see a single spiritual beast that had reached the founders or establishment realm, which was disappointing. This remark enraged the elder further. The elder, now visibly furious, accused Lin Jichen of being overly critical. His temper flared as he declared that arguing with him was futile. However, Lin Jichen noticed a sudden shift in the elder's demeanor. The elder unexpectedly suggested going deeper inside. As Lin Jichen and the elder ventured deeper, the elder explained that the more one explored, the stronger and rarer the spirit beasts became. Lin Jichen played along, thinking that by enticing the elder, he could secure a powerful beast for himself. They arrived at a vast enclosure filled with various spirit beasts. The elder pointed out different classifications: chi refining, foundation establishment, core formation, golden core, and spiritual manifestation. However, he firmly stated that Lin Jichen was not allowed to see the beasts beyond this level. The elder warned that even the weakest of these spirit beasts could easily overpower Lin Jichen and questioned whether he had any confidence in taming one. Lin Jichen hesitated, realizing that these creatures were far beyond his current level. The senior sister reassured him that the most powerful beast present was at the spiritual manifestation realm and that her grandfather wouldn't allow anything truly dangerous near him. Growing impatient, the elder urged Lin Jichen to choose quickly, stating that he could only pick a chi-refining beast. The senior sister objected, arguing that Lin Jichen had already defeated a middle foundation establishment realm entity and deserved better. This angered the elder, who scolded her for siding with an outsider. Despite this, the senior sister led Lin Jichen toward a selection of more powerful beasts. Lin Jichen was presented with an iron rank wolf at the foundation establishment realm that could serve as both a pet and a mount. However, he was unimpressed. Just then, he noticed a panda-like beast engaged in a fierce battle. His interest piqued, and upon closer inspection, he realized it was an iron-eating beast. A creature of legendary potential, originating from the Chais Mountain, known for reaching the nascent soul stage effortlessly. Determined, Lin Jichen declared that he wanted this beast. However, the elder immediately snatched it away, explaining that only one iron-eating beast remained in his possession. He refused to part with it, knowing its extraordinary potential. The senior sister, however, insisted that Lin Jichen was the perfect match for such a rare beast. Ignoring her grandfather's protests, she handed the iron-eating beast to Lin Jichen and urged him to complete the blood recognition ritual. Despite the elder's loud objections, the senior sister reminded him of his own teachings about trustworthiness. She insisted that since she had already given the beast to Lin Jichen, her grandfather had no right to take it back. Lin Jichen wasted no time and performed the blood recognition ceremony. As the process completed, he he was transported to a spiritual space where the soul of the iron-eating beast resided. The beast initially rejected Lin Jichen, demanding that he leave. Lin Jichen, however, used his knowledge from his past life, recalling that iron-eating beasts were insatiable gluttons. He promised the beast the most exquisite spiritual herbs and the finest gourmet meals, confident that the allure of food would be irresistible. The iron-eating beast scoffed, claiming that it already had access to great food. Lin Jichen countered by mentioning rare delicacies such as the purple arrow bamboo found in the Museum of Perfection and the profound fruit from the immortal island of Pyongla, which could extend one's lifespan by 100%. Hearing this, the iron-eating beast wavered, unable to resist the temptation. With a final huff, the beast agreed to form a contract, sealing their bond. Lin Jichen rejoiced as the successful taming process was completed. He analyzed the beast's stats and was impressed by its high HP, attack speed, and agility, making it an excellent companion. Suddenly, a system notification informed all players that the 8 Wastelands update was in progress. A forced logout commenced, removing everyone from the game for 24 hours. Lin Jichen, now back in the real world, received a message from Ji Chu Shui, who invited him to her upcoming birthday celebration. Lin Jichen reminisced about his relationship with Chu Shui. Though only 3 years older, she had always cared for him like a sister. Despite their cousin-like bond, he realized that her feelings for him ran deeper. In his past life, he had neglected her, consumed by another relationship. Now, he vowed not to repeat his mistakes. Determined to see her, Lin Jichen traveled to Beijing and arrived at the hospital where she worked. As he entered, he witnessed an emergency. Several people rushed a patient on a stretcher, accompanied by a distressed young woman, Yang Yiru, the chairman of Siping Group. She desperately called out to her father, pleading for him to wake up. Jichen quickly performed a healing technique while they were passing by him, thinking inwardly that it's finally time for him to show off his healing skill. The patient suddenly woke up, causing the woman to rejoice and the doctor to ask Jichen what he did. Pressed for time, the doctors quickly brought the patient to the operating room. Yang Yiru asked excitedly if Jichen can cure her father, and if he does, her family will pay any price, to which Yukon thought that treating this illness requires medicines from the game, so unless the game merges with reality, there's not much he can do. He explains to her that while immediate treatment could stabilize him temporarily, his condition was dire. Even with surgery, he had only a month left to live. The atmosphere grew heavy as Yiru, overwhelmed with grief, leaned on Lin Jichen for support. She apologized for dirtying his clothes with her tears, but Lin Jichen reassured her, saying they were inexpensive and easily replaced. He advised her to cherish the time she had left with her father, urging her not to have regrets. Before parting, Yiru handed Lin Jichen a personal business card, telling him that if he ever needed help in the city, he could contact her. Lin Jichen accepted, recognizing her immense wealth and influence. He saw no harm in keeping such a powerful connection. Venturing further into the hospital, Lin Jichen's thoughts shifted. He had grown significantly, but he was no longer the helpless child he once was. Arriving at Chu Shui's office, he was warmly welcomed. Overwhelmed with emotion, he embraced her tightly, expressing how much he had missed her. When they got back to her apartment, Jichen questioned why Chu Shui lived in such a small rental unit, especially since it was set for demolition soon. She mentioned that it was conveniently close to the hospital, making her job easier. As they settled in, she offered to cook dinner. Lin Jichen reflected on how she had always supported him financially. Chu Shui prepared food. She noticed Lin Jichen hadn't brought spare clothes. She pointed him to her wardrobe, where she had stored extra outfits for him. Lin Jichen was taken aback, questioning why she had so many men's clothes. Chu Shui admitted that she often went shopping out of boredom and had bought them for him, believing they would suit him well. Touched by her gesture, Lin Jichen fought back tears, appreciating her thoughtfulness. After showering, Lin Jichen joined Chu Shui for dinner, delighted to find that she had prepared all his favorite dishes. During the meal, Chu Shui brought up his university fees, offering to help if needed. She mentioned that her salary would arrive soon and she could transfer money to him. Lin Jichen reassured her, revealing that he had become wealthy and no longer required financial assistance. Chu Shui was skeptical, questioning how a college student could make so much money. She suspected illegal activities and worried about his safety. To ease her concerns, Lin Jichen showed her his account balance. Chu Shui was shocked, seeing millions in his name. She accused him of being involved in money laundering, deeply concerned for his well-being. Lin Jichen quickly clarified that he had earned everything through gaming, specifically from the 8 wastelands. Chu Shui acknowledged that people could make money from gaming but found it hard to believe he had accumulated such wealth so quickly. Lin Jichen then suggested that she quit her job and move in with him so he could take care of her. Chu Shui, taken aback, questioned why he felt the need to support her, insisting that she was capable on her own. However, Lin Jichen remained firm, determined to ensure she no longer had to struggle alone. She hesitated, so Jichen sulked and asked why she was treating him distantly, to which she quickly denied and reassured him. Later, while washing the dishes, she asked him to go rest and leave the rest to her. He asks her teasingly that since she only has one bed, should they sleep together? She blushes slightly, calling him a little rascal. She says that he can take the bed and she'll sleep on the couch, to which he tries to deny, saying that he should be the one sleep on the couch, but Chu Shui isn't take no for an answer, saying that since he's tall, he won't even fit on the couch. Later on the bed, Jichen found himself unable to sleep, being surrounded by Chu Shui's scent, so he decides to check in on her. He calls out to her while she's laying on the sofa, saying that there's something he wanted to tell her. Among them was Dr. Zhang, who presented her with a bouquet of roses. He enthusiastically announced that he had reserved the most luxurious private room in a famous restaurant for their celebration, and he would cover all the expenses. The group collectively praised Dr. Yang's generosity. Chu Shui, however, felt overwhelmed by the attention, especially with so many people present. She politely expressed that such extravagance was unnecessary and that there was no need for him to go to such lengths. She questioned why he would spend so much on her behalf. Dr. Zhang, however, revealed his true intentions. He reminded her of his feelings and questioned why she continued to avoid him. Internally, Dr. Zhang was pleased with himself. He believed that by spending a substantial sum on this lavish event, he would gain the opportunity to grow closer to Chu Shui. The prospect excited him, as he saw this moment as the perfect chance to make his move. As the celebration continued, an unexpected visitor arrived. The person carried a set of car keys and made a remark about the liveliness of the situation. Seeing Jichen, Dr. Zhang recognized him as Chu Shui's cousin, questioning how someone of his background could afford such an expensive sports car. Approaching Dr. Zhang, the newcomer confirmed his identity and shook his hand. Lin Jichen, observing this interaction, internally noted that Dr. Zhang seemed to be plotting something. Lin Jichen remained cautious, curious about what exactly Dr. Zhang intended to do regarding Chu Shui. As the gathering prepared to move to the hotel for further celebrations, Dr. Zhang ensured that everything was in place for an opulent evening. Outside, the colleagues complimented Jichen's car, while others questioned how they would all fit into a single vehicle. Dr. Zhang, ever the generous host, booked additional cabs for the guests, ensuring that everyone had a ride. This act further solidified his reputation among the attendees, many of whom commended his kindness. However, Lin Jichen intervened and announced that there was no need for cabs. He had already arranged for a large bus to accommodate everyone. He suggested that they all meet at the hotel, where the true extent of the evening's luxury would be revealed. Upon reaching the venue, the group marveled at the extravagance of the establishment. Lin Jichen praised Dr. Yang's efforts, acknowledging that he had gone above and beyond by booking the most luxurious hotel in the city. Dr. Zhang, reveling in the praise, internally congratulated himself for making a strong impression. However, he secretly thought that those who had come from the village were behaving as if they had never seen such grandeur before. The top floor of the building, known for its breathtaking view of the city, soon became a topic of interest. Lin Jichen mentioned that he had heard the top floor provided an unparalleled panoramic view and questioned whether Dr. Zhang had booked that space as a private room. Dr. Zhang was momentarily taken aback. He had originally planned to book only the second floor, believing it would suffice. However, realizing that he had to maintain his image, he reluctantly agreed to the extravagant expense. He reassured himself that the cost would be worthwhile if it brought him closer to his goal. His anticipation grew, excited at the prospect of finally making his intentions clear to Chu Shui. As the guests ascended to the top floor, their excitement heightened. They anticipated that such an expensive venue would also offer exquisite cuisine. Lin Jichen continued to engage Dr. Zhang in conversation, subtly challenging his every move. Dr. Zhang responded with politeness, insisting that it was only natural to take care of colleagues. However, his expression subtly changed when he brought up Lin Jichen's family background. He mentioned that he had heard from Chu Shui's sister that their financial situation was not very stable. He then questioned how someone in such circumstances could afford an expensive sports car. Lin Jichen, unfazed by the remark, calmly stated that the car was merely rented. He explained that, given that it was his sister's birthday, he wanted to create a memorable impression. The conversation continued, with tensions subtly rising between the two, as both maneuvered around each other's intentions, each keenly aware of the other's underlying motives. Lin Jichen started analyzing the situation, realizing that Dr. Zhang was attempting to probe into his background. He decided to play along and observe his moves. Dr. Zhang reassured him, stating that young people often worry too much about appearances, and that he completely understood his concerns. Internally, Dr. Zhang was trying to save face, and Lin Jichen's true intentions. As he departed, Lin Jichen resolved to observe Dr. Yang's next actions carefully. Back at the celebration, Chu Shui attempted to address Zhao Cheng, but Dr. Zhang intervened, redirecting everyone's attention to continuing the festivities. Under the influence of alcohol, the guests soon became intoxicated. Seizing the opportunity, Dr. Zhang led Chu Shui away, promising to escort her to a private room. As they walked, he made his intentions clear, stating that he had spent a great deal of money on her birthday celebration and now expected something in return. Chu Shui, despite her protests, found herself too inebriated to resist. Dr. Zhang, elated, began recording her on his mobile phone, commenting on her delicate skin and how she would have no choice but to comply with him after this evidence was secured. He claimed that marriage would be her only option, and with that, he would have control over her indefinitely. As Chu Shui began to cry, the door suddenly burst open. Lin Jichen entered, his expression filled with fury. He commanded Dr. Zhang to release his sister. Dr. Yang's confidence shattered, and panic overtook him. He questioned how Lin Jichen had returned so quickly, his fear evident. Before he could react further, Lin Jichen delivered a powerful kick, sending him sprawling across the room. The commotion drew the attention of the hotel staff, and 3 waiters arrived, inquiring about the disturbance. Dr. Zhang, writhing in pain, attempted to justify his actions, but Lin Jichen exposed his true intentions. He accused Dr. Zhang of drugging the wine and attempting to violate his sister. He urged the waiters to gather evidence to substantiate his claims. Realizing he had been caught, Dr. Zhang pleaded for leniency. However, Lin Jichen remained firm, presenting the video recordings that proved Dr. Yang's malicious intent. Dr. Zhang, recognizing his defeat, surrendered and agreed to turn himself into the authorities. The hotel staff ensured that he was escorted away while Chu Shui, still shaken, found solace in her brother's presence. Lin Jichen comforted his sister, expressing his gratitude that she was safe. Chu Shui, in turn, thanked him for always protecting her. He reassured her that now it was his responsibility to take care of her, as he had grown stronger. He brought her to a room, ensuring she rested peacefully. Determined to prevent similar incidents in the future, Lin Jichen vowed to take decisive action. Several days later, he decided to return to his own home. He noted that an update had occurred in the system while he was away, and he needed to return as soon as possible to maintain his progress. He re-entered the game and discovered that his stage of late chi refining had advanced, along with his attributes. His chi and blood had reached 1,000 points, and his mana had also increased to the same level. Feeling satisfied with his progress, he examined the items he had obtained from the Blood Fiend. Among them were 3 valuable artifacts. The soul-attracting umbrella, a spiritual-grade artifact capable of injuring enemies with its sound waves. The bone of bright sand, which had unique and powerful properties, and another rare item that promised to enhance his cultivation further. As he strategized his next steps, he realized he needed 3 heavenly treasures and 6 different attributes to break into the foundation stage. Though he had yet to reach that level, he resolved to start gathering materials in preparation. While considering his path forward, his gaze fell upon a creature. A panda-like iron-eating beast. The creature lay lazily nearby, showing no intention of moving. Annoyed, Lin Jichen urged the beast to be more productive, stating that it should not remain idle. However, the creature, unfazed by his words, merely declared that it was too hungry to work. Despite its laziness, Lin Jichen sensed that this beast might press. Meanwhile, Bang Yang turned to his allies, urging them to contribute points as well. He promised to double their rewards if he won, persuading them to pool a total of 15,000 contribution points. Confident in his abilities, Bang Yong accepted the duel, and they proceeded to the sword sect's dueling platform, where a large crowd had already gathered. Among the spectators, discussions arose about an outer sect disciple who had won 8 consecutive duels with ease. Many marveled at his strength, wondering if anyone in the sect could match him. The disciple, named Chen Yuan, had gained notoriety for his exceptional swordsmanship despite only being in the late stage of qi refining. As the duel preparations continued, a distinguished figure entered the arena. He was revealed to be Gong, a branch holder and the father of Lin Jichen's senior sister. Gong declared that he had come to personally oversee the duel, impressed by the level of swordsmanship on display. He then turned to Chen Yuan and offered to take him as a disciple, praising his potential and skill. Overwhelmed by the opportunity, Chen Yuan immediately accepted the offer. Meanwhile, Lin Jichen's senior sister arrived at the scene, drawing everyone's attention. Chen Yuan, upon seeing her, was visibly captivated, expressing his admiration and stating that she was the only person he desired. However, Gong, noticing his daughter's presence, questioned her reasons for being there. She cheerfully explained that she had come to support her junior brother, Lin Jichen. Gong was taken aback, realizing that she was not referring to Chen Yuan, but rather to Lin Jichen. As Lin Jichen arrived at the arena, the gathered crowd observed him with mixed reactions. Gong, deep in thought, pondered how Lin Jichen had achieved such rapid progress. Suspecting that he had some hidden talent or secret method, he saw an opportunity to test his abilities through the upcoming duel. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan, fueled by a mix of excitement and determination, prepared himself for what lay ahead. Chen Yuan confidently addressed Lin Jichen, stating that he had heard much about him and wished to challenge him on the dueling platform. He expressed his desire to learn from Lin Jichen's sword technique. However, Lin Jichen politely declined, explaining that he had already accepted another challenge and had no intention of taking on more. Internally, Lin Jichen recalled that in his previous life, Chen Yuan had been a top-level sword cultivator. He acknowledged the strength of his potential opponent but remained firm in his decision. Elder Nam Guang and Chen Yuan softened their expressions at his response. Chen Yuan questioned why Lin Jichen would fight a late-stage foundation establishment cultivator, while the elder pondered how Lin Jichen, despite his high cultivation, could accept such a battle. He suggested that Lin Jichen could refuse, but Bang, the challenger, hesitated to reveal the sect's rules that allowed for refusal under such circumstances. Lin Jichen, however, chose to proceed, stating that since contribution points were at stake, he would not turn down the duel. The elder observed Lin Jichen's confidence and decided to allow the fight to see just how capable he truly was. His senior sister, filled with admiration, wished him good luck. As the duel began, Lin Jichen invited Bang to make the first move, displaying his confidence. Bang, eager to prove himself, attacked, only for Lin Jichen to disappear in an instant. Shocked, Bang barely registered Lin Jichen's sudden reappearance behind him before suffering a heavy blow. His health rapidly declined, and realizing his mistake, Bang admitted to underestimating his opponent. He launched a second attack, this time using his mode. To her surprise, Lin Jichen refused. Shocked, she asked why, offering to pay any price. Lin Jichen, however, had his reasons. Helping them would mean missing out on the spiritual stones he could earn by clearing the realm alone. She then proposed tackling the Ghost Ridge instead, to which Lin Jichen agreed but set specific conditions. Before proceeding, Lin Jichen inquired whether their leader would be joining them. She confirmed this but warned him against speaking disrespectfully, as it could lead to serious trouble. Lin Jichen clarified that he had no ill intentions. He merely wanted to borrow some money. Just then, another young man approached, offering Lin Jichen 3 million to assist in clearing a dungeon. Lin Jichen feigned ignorance, pretending not to recognize the man. However, the man reminded him of a past incident where Lin Jichen had cheated him twice. Lin Jichen, recalling the event, maintained his stance, explaining that he had already made a promise to his girlfriend. The man accused Lin Jichen of being dishonest, recalling how he had once claimed to be engaged but later switched partners. Lin Jichen was momentarily taken aback but shrugged off the accusation, saying what could he do when a beautiful rich lady kept chasing after him. He already broke up with his ex. He then walks away. On their way, Jichen thanked her for taking the shot for him back there, to which she shyly told him not to be formal. When they reached the party, they found the dungeon crowded with players bustling. The party notice their arrival and their leader rushes towards them. She thanks Jichen for accepting and says that any condition he has will be satisfied. Jichen says that he only has three. One is that he gets command authority inside the dungeon and they will have to follow his orders. Second is that any loot for sword cultivators or materials for Dao Foundation will belong to him. And the third matter is private, so he leans in and whispers that he'd like to borrow some spirit stones from her. She hesitates, saying that spirit stones are incredibly important for her guild and the market exchange is 1 spirit stone to 180 in cash. Jichen explains that he won't borrow for free, he'll pay back 130% in 5 days. She finally agrees to lend him 50,000. Upon receiving the spirit stones, Jichen promised to pay back in 5 days and urged the group to start the dungeon. Lin Jichen joined his party and ventured into the dungeon. The group was filled with anticipation, but they were soon shocked to learn that Lin Jichen had chosen the Hell level difficulty. Concerned, one of his companions questioned the decision, but Lin Jichen confidently assured them that as long as they followed his lead, they would succeed. Recognizing the opportunity before him, he felt that this dungeon held great potential for growth. As they delved deeper, they encountered eerie signs of danger. A disembodied hand emerged, sending chills through the group. Their leader reassured them, urging them to stay together, but the fear in their eyes was evident. Suddenly, they encountered a mysterious figure. A gatekeeper who warned them of the dangers ahead. He revealed that he had perished 2 decades ago and had once had a wife who was killed by an evil ghost. He requested a favor. For them to retrieve one of her lost belongings. The party, hesitant but determined, prepared to take on the challenge ahead. The gatekeeper agreed, allowing the group to proceed further. As they moved ahead, they encountered a vast valley filled with skeletons and a powerful deadly curse lingering in the air. The leader assessed the situation, reassuring everyone that the number of enemies was manageable and they could easily defend against them. A girl stepped forward and engaged the monsters, but before long, Lin eliminated all enemies with a single sword strike. Bangmin marveled at Lin's high luck level, but Lin brushed it off, claiming that his luck was just an illusion. Suddenly, a monster appeared behind Lin, but he to hear a mysterious voice calling out for company. A ghostly girl appeared, surrounded by emerging skeletons. While the others hesitated, Lin effortlessly destroyed the skeletal creatures, chastising them for their futile resistance. The ghost attempted to attack him but soon vanished, leaving only a disembodied hand visible. The ghost admired Lin's appearance and suggested that he join her as a ghost cultivator. She promised him immense power through dual cultivation, assuring him that his growth would accelerate rapidly. However, Lin found the idea repulsive. Although he had unlocked new powers, he rejected the offer outright, calling her shameless. The ghost, unwilling to accept rejection, attempted to bind Lin's soul to her. She launched an attack, but Lin countered decisively. The leader of the Moonlight Shadow Guild urged everyone to follow Lin's lead, realizing that the ghost was a formidable opponent. The other girls in the group assisted in severing the ghost's hair, which was her primary weapon. The ghost fought back, but Lin capitalized on an opening and launched a devastating attack. As a result, the ghost cultivator was severely weakened. With the ghost defeated, the group rejoiced, recognizing the immense rewards they had gained. Wang Lin expressed happiness at the rare loot they obtained, comparing it to hitting a jackpot. The leader acknowledged Lin's contribution, granting him first choice in selecting rewards. Lin examined the items carefully and chose a Spirit Stone Knight Gauntlet and a spiritual martial art technique, both of which would be beneficial for his growth. The group continued exploring the dungeon, progressing toward an area where an old man was sitting. It was the gatekeeper they had met earlier. Wang Lin urged Lin to return the handcrafted item, but Lin hesitated, warning him that something was amiss. Wang Lin questioned his suspicion, noting that the gatekeeper was at the mountain's base earlier. Lin pointed out that the man they had met before was actually the dungeon's final boss in disguise. The leader was skeptical, asking why a boss would willingly offer them items. Lin explained that this dungeon was designed to trap unsuspecting players. Many had fallen victim to the gatekeeper's deception, making it difficult to reach the true boss. Only experienced players understood how to bypass the trap. The leader, now understanding the trick, felt relieved that Lin had uncovered the scheme before it was too late. As they conversed, the gatekeeper suddenly stood up and demanded his wife's belongings. Lin, however, took an aggressive stance and ordered an attack. He recalled how, in his previous life, He had fallen victim to this very deception and vowed not to repeat the same mistake. The supposed gatekeeper revealed his true form, transforming into a massive boss monster. With a chilling declaration, he announced that none of them would leave alive and unleashed a dark power that summoned an army of crows. The crows swarmed the group, forcing Lin to act swiftly. He instructed Bang Lin to use his special skill to neutralize the threat. Bang Lin activated his umbrella technique, weakening the crow's power significantly. Seizing the opportunity, Lin turned his focus to the boss monster, realizing that his expertise in sword cultivation would be crucial in this close combat battle. Lin launched a series of precise strikes, weakening the boss considerably. Just as victory seemed certain, the boss used the black mist escape technique, evading the final blow. However, Lin quickly adapted, instructing the team to counterattack. Everyone combined their most powerful techniques, dealing significant damage to the boss monster. Seeing an opening, Lin executed his ultimate move, the Phoenix Feather Strike, wielding his spiritual sword to deal a devastating blow. As the monster's condition worsened, Lin released his panda companion to deliver the finishing attack. The girls in the group were captivated by the panda's cuteness, but their admiration quickly turned to awe as the panda unleashed a powerful strike, tearing through the boss monster. With the boss defeated, the dungeon was successfully cleared. The system recorded their victory, showing that they had completed the dungeon in 7 minutes and 56 seconds on hell difficulty. Their performance earned a perfect rating, and each member received 500 furnace cultivation points, while elite members gained an additional 1,500 points. The leader expressed immense gratitude to Lin for his contributions, recognizing that without him, they would not have been able to claim such rewards. She offered Lin a selection of mage equipment, but he declined, stating that he had already taken what he needed. The leader noticed that he had selected a black oval crystal, but chose not to question it. As the group prepared to leave, Bang Lin attempted to speak with Lin, but he urged her to go ahead, warning that outside guilds would soon arrive, eager to gather information on their dungeon experience. Stepping out of the dungeon, Lin sat alone near a tree, contemplating his next move. He then received a call from an old acquaintance. Recognizing an opportunity, he devised a plan to manipulate the situation to his advantage. Meanwhile, in the city, the bustling crowd gathered near a shop where Lin and Bang were meeting. Bang questioned why Lin had called him, to which Lin responded with an apology. Bang laughed off the apology, expressing that life was about more than just battles. It was also about love. He sympathized with Lin's struggles, stating that if Lin truly loved someone, he would support him in forming a happy couple. Lin admitted feeling guilty for not helping Bang earlier, believing it had caused unnecessary mental stress. Bang reassured him that finding a life partner was more important than trivial matters and joked about the complexities of love. He also pointed out that since Lin had assisted the Moonshadow Guild, it would be beneficial if Lin helped him as well. Lin hesitated, explaining that aiding Bang might cause issues due to the rivalry between the Moonshadow Guild and the Eternal Guild. Bang was visibly frustrated but understood Lin's reasoning. Lin, sensing an opportunity, offered a deal. He would provide indirect assistance but at a cost of 8,000 spirit stones. Bang was shocked at the high price but ultimately agreed, acknowledging Lin as a true friend. Their conversation ended with an understanding that they would navigate their respective challenges together, setting the stage for future conflicts and alliances. Bang was reflecting on how his guild had saved up 8,000 spirit stones, only for them to vanish in a single transaction. However, he acknowledged that making money required spending money, and there was no avoiding it. He admitted that without a sound financial strategy, success would be impossible. Lin Jichen then offered to write something down for Bang, but Bang insisted there was no need for such trouble and suggested transferring the data directly. Lin Jichen, however, explained that older, more primitive methods were actually more secure, and Bang eventually agreed, taking the written note from him. He commented that Lin Jichen was truly a cunning person and expressed gratitude. Feeling confident, he then declared that he would take his pupils and challenge the Ghost Ridge on hell difficulty. Lin Jichen advised him to be careful before Bang left, still radiating confidence. From his past life experiences, Lin Jichen, however, knew that even with a strategy guide, Bang would likely be crushed due to his insufficient strength. As the scene shifted to nighttime in the city, Lin Jichen arrived at a shop and, without hesitation, threw down money, instructing the boss lady to give him all the corpse poison available. He demanded that every last bit of her stock be cleared out. The boss lady, observing his boldness, commented on his generosity but warned him that her poison was expensive. She questioned whether he was aware of its high cost. Lin Jichen remained unfazed, pulling out even more money, assuring her that he had more if needed. Impressed, the boss lady agreed and remarked on his ability to earn wealth so efficiently. She then suggested that he become her business partner, moving in close as she made her proposal. Lin Jichen, feeling flustered by her advances, awkwardly declined, stating that such matters were not within his interest. However, she continued teasing him, pressing further. He struggled to control himself, reminding himself of his goal to become a powerful sword cultivator. The boss lady chuckled, saying she would fetch his order, while Lin Jichen, still slightly embarrassed, wondered if he would regret his decision. Shortly after, she returned with all the poison he had requested, handing over the goods and playfully inviting him to return anytime. Lin Jichen thanked her with a laugh and promised to visit again. As he walked away, he counted his newly acquired stock, 200,000 bottles of corpse poison. He smirked, realizing how rich he was about to become, knowing that other players remained unaware of how essential corpse poison would be for clearing the corpse belly king. Without this crucial item, most challengers would fail. Anticipating a surge in demand, he planned to sell his stock at premium prices, ensuring enormous profits. Determined to strengthen himself further, Lin Jichen set out to find a location to advance his cultivation. He soon arrived at the blazing flame land, an area radiating intense lava energy. Still alive, attempted to flee. Lin Jichen, however, was not willing to let it escape. He hurled his sword, striking the beast's body and finishing it off. Upon inspecting the loot, he found fire spirit chi fragments and a few spirit stones. Disappointed by the low purity of the fire spirit chi, he decided to store them for later sale. Continuing his journey, he arrived at a hidden location known for housing high-purity fire spirit chi. He called out, challenging anyone present to reveal themselves. Moments later, a three-tailed firefox emerged, furious at his audacity. The fox, a monster with late-stage chi refining strength, immediately attacked using her flame tail scratch ability. Lin Jichen dodged her fire-based strikes with ease, commenting on her impressive speed. Amused, the fox retaliated with her sharp claw technique, launching 3 razor-sharp blades toward him. Lin Jichen skillfully redirected the attack, causing the fox to be struck by her own energy. Severely injured, she reverted to her true form, an elegant yet menacing fox-like beast. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Jichen released his panda companion. He teased the panda, suggesting that it should enjoy a proper meal after consuming only vegetables for so long. The panda, overjoyed, bared its fangs and drooled at the sight of its prey. The fox, realizing the impending danger, attempted to flee, but the panda pounced, devouring her whole. All that remained was a pool of blood. Lin Jichen questioned the panda, asking if it was satisfied with its meal. The panda responded indifferently, stating that the taste was mediocre but tolerable. It expressed a desire for more food, but Lin Jichen told it to be patient. He then examined the loot, discovering a 100% pure fire spirit chi, along with gold coins, spirit stones, and a fire-based martial technique known as Fire Fist. More than anything, he was excited about obtaining the fire spirit chi, which was essential for his cultivation. Satisfied with his gains, he continued deeper into the blazing flame land, eager to refine his strength even further. His iPhone vibrated. Exiting the game presses, push-ups, and pull-ups, he could not only improve his physical body but also enhance his cultivation. He estimated that in just 5 years, he could achieve what normally took 8 years. As he considered the future, he reflected on how the world was on the verge of dramatic change. Soon, life as they knew it would vanish, replaced by chaos, struggles, and survival. Humanity would enter an era where peace no longer existed. Shortly after, Lin Jichen stepped out of his room and found Ran Lan waiting. She expressed her impatience, saying she had been waiting for him for too long. She playfully scolded him for always sitting around, then shifted her tone, reminiscing about how her mother at the game Lin Jichen had been playing. She asked how to operate and play it. Lin Jichen explained that she first needed to authenticate her real name and log in. After that, she would select a class based on her preferences. He outlined the available main classes: Weapon Cultivator, Body Cultivator, Medical Cultivator, and Mage Cultivator. Once she completed the authentication, Ran Lan was welcomed into the game, entering the character creation phase. She was given options to customize her appearance, physique, body type, and attributes. Delighted with her choices, she finalized her character. She adorned herself in an ancient-style outfit, arriving in a mystical land. There, she encountered Nuva, an AI character known as the Goddess of Creation. Nuva introduced herself, stating that she would guide Ranlan on the path to immortality. Enthralled, Ranlan admired Nuva's beauty. The AI then offered her a blessing, granting her an innate talent called unmoving wisdom. However, Ranlan remained unaware of the significance of this ability. Nuva then prompted her to select a birthplace, presenting various locations. Lin Jichen advised Ranlan to pick a birthplace that complemented her chosen class. He elaborated on the optimal starting points for different cultivators. A specific location for mages, another for medical practitioners, and distinct areas for weapon and body cultivators. As she made her decision, she was surprised to see little Lin nearby. She complimented his ancient costume, stating that it suited him well. Lin Jichen also expressed curiosity, asking about her innate talent. When she revealed that she had acquired Unmoving Wisdom King, Lin Jichen never expected Ranlan's journey to start so smoothly, recognizing her immense potential. Excited about the possibilities, Ranlan inquired about their next steps. She suggested heading to the newbie village to begin their missions. However, Lin Jichen shook his head and refused. He insisted that before anything else, they needed to sell some items and gather essential resources, including stones and equipment, to prepare for their journey ahead. After arriving in the city, Lin Jichen and Renlin were met with a bustling crowd. Merchants eagerly called out their wares, offering top-quality spirits and various items. Buyers and sellers engaged in transactions, creating a lively atmosphere. Amidst the crowd, two individuals were discussing their predicament. One of them, wearing a cap, expressed his frustration over the complete lack of corpse poison. He was distressed, realizing that without corpse poison, clearing the Corpse King would be impossible. The other person agreed, stating that the game's early-stage alchemists were incapable of producing it on their own. Lin Jichen, overhearing their conversation, coughed to get their attention. He commented that they seemed to be in dire need of corpse poison and offered to sell them some at a low price of just 8 spirit stones per bottle. Internally, he calculated that if the deal went through, he could multiply his initial investment 16 times over. The two boys exchanged glances, considering the offer. Just as they were about to respond, a commotion erupted nearby. Someone had spread the word that corpse poison was available for sale. Players rushed towards Lin Jichen, eager to purchase the much-needed resource. Voices clamored for attention, with many pleading to buy bottles. Lin Jichen reassured them that he had plenty in stock and would be able to sell to everyone. Renlin observed Lin Jichen in amazement, remarking that she had never expected him to approach the game this way. She found little Lin to be surprisingly clever. Before she could say more, a voice suddenly called out Lin Jichen's name. The crowd turned their attention toward the source of the voice. A strikingly beautiful girl appeared and confidently approached Lin Jichen. She expressed disbelief upon seeing him, stating that she hadn't expected to find him there. The surrounding players, intrigued by her sudden arrival, speculated about her identity. Some questioned if she was cutting in line to buy corpse poison ahead of them, while others simply admired her beauty but insisted that fairness should be maintained. The girl ignored the murmurs and approached Lin Jichen, explaining that she had seen his name on the leaderboard. At first, she had doubted it was really him, as she had never considered him to be skilled at the game. However, now that she had found him, she was eager to reconnect. Lin Jichen immediately recognized her intentions. He thought to himself that this girl, Gaji, was nothing more than a freeloader looking to obtain corpse poison without paying. He suspected she would also try to convince him to carry her through the game so she could gain strength effortlessly. Uninterested in her schemes, he mentally dismissed her advances. Gaji, undeterred, moved closer to Lin Jichen. She flirtatiously questioned why he was staring at her so intently and why he hadn't met her last time. She teasingly asked if he had missed her. The onlookers whispered among themselves, wondering if she was Lin Jichen's lover or girlfriend. They eagerly watched the unfolding drama. Without warning, Ran Lan pinched Lin Jichen, reminding him not to forget what she did to him. Lin Jichen winced in pain and protested, but she continued, insisting that he should remember their past conversations. Lin Jichen assured her that he had not forgotten anything, which momentarily calmed her. However, Gaji's mood quickly shifted as she questioned why Lin Jichen was playing with Renlin instead of her. She reminded him of his previous words, where he had claimed that she was the only one in his heart. Before Lin Jichin could respond, Renlin took action. She suddenly grabbed Lin Jichin by the collar, pulling him close. The intoxicating scent from her hair made Lin Jichin's mind spin. Renlin declared that whatever had happened in the past did not matter anymore. She confidently announced that from now on, Lin Jichin belonged to her and that Gaji should stay away from him. Lin Jichin, caught completely off guard, found himself struggling to process the situation. Gaji was outraged. She accused Renlin of using her father's position as the school principal to intimidate others. She declared that despite everything, Lin Jichin was still her boyfriend and that their relationship was far from over. She warned Renlin not to steal her man. Lin Jichin, finally regaining his composure, firmly stated that whatever he and Gaji once had was over. This declaration sent Gaji into a fit of disbelief. She demanded to know how he could do this to her. Lin Jichin laughed coldly and asked if she truly didn't understand why. He reminded her of the times when they were supposedly dating, yet she constantly flirted with Shu Zi. He continued, explaining that he had even written love letters to her while she shamelessly entertained someone else. He told her that she had never expected him to find out, but he had known all along. Gaji, realizing she had been caught, tried to defend herself, claiming that everything was a misunderstanding. She pleaded for a chance to explain, but Lin Jichin silenced her by pulling out photographic evidence. He showed her the images, proving her infidelity. The surrounding players reacted immediately, expressing their disdain for Gaji's deceit. They criticized her, labeling her as nothing more than a fraud. Her reputation was utterly shattered, and she had no way to justify her actions any longer. Lin Jichin came up behind Ren Lan and confidently declared that he needed to correct something. He was not just her boyfriend, but in fact, her fiancé, and they were soon to be married. Ren Lan was taken aback by his words, questioning his intentions. However, she quickly composed herself and instructed the girl to leave, telling her there was no need to interfere in their business. The girl was shocked by Ren Lan's assertiveness. The surrounding crowd joined in, urging her to leave, emphasizing that they needed to focus on buying the corpse poison rather than dealing with unnecessary distractions. Some individuals even threw small objects, further pressuring her to depart. Realizing she had no support, the girl begrudgingly warned Lin Jichin and Ren Lan that she would not forget this humiliation and vowed to take revenge. As night fell, Lin Jichin and Ren Lan counted their earnings. The sales had been successful, resulting in multiple bags filled with spirit stones, each containing at least 100. Although exhausted, Lin Jichin acknowledged that the time spent was worthwhile, even if it had taken an entire day to sell everything. Satisfied with their earnings, Lin Jichin handed Ren Lan some spirit stones, instructing her to purchase better equipment so she could complete the newbie missions in Yongpeng Prefectural. He advised her against accepting random quests from the village, instead suggesting she head directly to the State Martial Arts Dojo, where a valuable opportunity awaited her. Ren Lan, curious, asked about Lin Jichin's own plans. Lin Jichin stood up and laughed, stating that he had other matters to attend to. He then turned and prepared to leave. However, on his way, he sensed a dangerous presence. A figure emerged. Jichin mockingly asked if it had come to deliver him a heavenly treasure. Without hesitation, Lin Jichin drew his sword and attacked. The opponent retaliated, but Lin Jichin's strength was overwhelming. He killed him in a single strike. Just as he was about to continue on his way, a sudden scream echoed through the night. Lin Jichin turned toward the sound, and the system notified him that he had triggered a rare opportunity. The Hidden Dragon Clan's princess was calling for help. Lin Jichin saw a young girl running toward him, desperately begging for assistance. The girl introduced herself as Ji Tiangyang, the princess of the Hidden Dragon Clan. She begged Jichin to deliver a message to the city, informing her father that the one responsible for her attack belonged to the Ghost Soul Temple. She pleaded for him to take action, promising a generous reward in return. Lin Jichin immediately recognized the storyline. This was part of the Eight Wastelands quest chain, where demonic cultivators targeted the princess. According to the script, these cultivators were relentless and would eventually kill her unless someone intervened. He questioned why the royal princess was alone in such a dangerous area at night. Out of breath, she explained that her group had been ambushed by demonic cultivators. In the chaos, she was separated from her guards and had been running ever since. However, the demonic cultivators were still pursuing her. Just as she finished speaking, dark figures emerged from the shadows. A large number of demonic cultivators surrounded them, their twisted laughter echoing in the night. Lin Jichen stepped forward, standing protectively in front of the princess. He declared that they had made a fatal mistake by daring to hunt the princess of the dragon clan. He promised that their arrogance would be their downfall. The demonic cultivators sneered, calling him a foolish hero. They taunted him, stating that no one would come to save him, and that his so-called bravery would lead to his demise. They prepared to strike, confident in their numbers. Lin Jichen, unfazed by their threats, activated a talisman. Instantly, an immense burst of energy erupted around him. The demonic cultivators recoiled, startled by the overwhelming force. Suddenly, the spirit of Lin Jichen's master materialized behind him. She demanded to know who dared to harm her disciple. Lin Jichen pointed at the demonic cultivators, informing her that they had not only tried to kill him but had also claimed they would eliminate her, ensuring that she would die as master's strength and beauty. She, however, questioned why he had not returned to the sect for such a long time. She accused him of neglecting his duties. Lin Jichen, lowering his head, admitted that he had been hesitant to return. However, he had a request to make. He explained that he sought assistance from the imperial clan. He wished to obtain a small piece of land where he could establish a shop and buy her more gift. Hearing his excuse, she agreed and gave him another soul talisman, telling him to call her if he needs anything. He thanked her, saying that he'll return soon after he finishes his business. Turning to the princess, she thanked him profusely, saying that her imperial clan will never forget this gratitude. A system notification told him that he gained 5,000 reputation points. He pretended to be righteous, saying that it's only natural that he eliminate evil cultivators and that there is no need for her to take it to heart. Her favorability continued to increase as he continued acting humble to her praises. So she asked if he could escort her back to her clan and her father would treat him well. He agreed to escort her back as it is part of his plan. When they reached the to speak freely if he needed anything. Jichen says that he has a request, he needs a piece of land to open a shop. The prince of the imperial clan, hearing his request, agreed without hesitation. With a smile, he handed Lin Jichen the property papers, stating that there was a shop in the city that would now belong to him. Lin Jichen, overjoyed, expressed his gratitude. Upon inspecting the location, he was astonished. It was a prime spot in the heart of the city. Excitedly, he realized he had stumbled upon an absolute goldmine. As he made his way toward his new shop, he caught the attention of several women from a nearby establishment. One called out, inviting him to join them for a drink. Another coyly suggested that he relax with a cup of tea in their company. A musician even expressed her desire to play a special tune just for him. Lin Jichen smirked, knowing that his new status had already begun to attract attention. With everything falling into place, he prepared himself for the next stage of his journey. As he entered his shop, he is welcomed by its employees who welcomed him respectfully. They introduced themselves and their roles. The man handed him the accounting book for the Hidden Dragon Pharmacy, but Lin Jichen stopped and declared that the new pharmacy no longer belonged to Imperial Capital. From now on, it was his, and it would be renamed the Commoner's Pharmacy. The onlookers were stunned, unable to process what they had just heard. Many were so shocked that they collapsed to the ground, overwhelmed by the sheer audacity of Lin Jichen's proclamation. The scene shifted to a group of people sitting at a table, discussing the recent events. Lin Jichen reaffirmed his plans for the pharmacy, stating that they would only sell corpse poison and nothing else. He laid down strict rules. Only 10,000 bottles would be sold daily, after which the shop would close for the day. A man, clearly astonished, protested loudly, questioning how they could sustain business by selling only corpse poison. A woman interjected, raising concerns about what they would do if they sold out, but demand remained high. Lin Jichen acknowledged her valid concern but remained firm. He instructed them to inform customers that once the stock was depleted, they would have to wait for the next shipment to arrive the following day. A large sign was soon placed outside the pharmacy, advertising the availability of corpse poison. Crowds quickly gathered, excitedly discussing the newly opened shop that carried the crucial item they needed. Many resolved to return the next day to ensure they secured their share. Observing the situation, Lin Jichen was pleased. The 3 clerks managing the store were proving to be reliable, and he felt confident that he could step away without worry. With that, he decided it was time to return to safety. The scene shifted again. Lin Jichin stood before his master upon returning to the sect. He greeted her respectfully, stating that he had come back. The master, surprised at his early return, questioned him. She remarked that she had assumed he would be treated well after saving the senior princess of the dragon clan. She even speculated that the emperor might have considered making him a son-in-law. Lin Jichin was taken aback by the suggestion. With an amused grin, he confidently dismissed the notion, declaring that even if they had offered him the throne, he would have refused. He proclaimed his unwavering loyalty to the sword sect, stating that even in death, he would remain bound to it. Amused by his passionate words, the master used her power to pull him closer. She peered into his eyes and asked if he was truly serious. Lin Jichin, without hesitation, affirmed that he never lied. He expressed deep gratitude for his master's kindness and vowed never to forget her teachings. With a smile, he retrieved a pouch and presented it to his master, explaining that he had brought her a gift. He pulled out a bracelet, its craftsmanship exquisite. As he handed it to her, he recited a poetic verse, likening the bond between a master and disciple to a priceless treasure. The master was visibly flustered, her favorability increasing by 15 points. Her fondness for Lin Jichin had now surpassed 150 points. Overcome with emotion, Lin Jichin took her hand and gently kissed it. A silent Jichin was close to winning over his master's heart. After the unexpected display, both Lin Jichin and the master found themselves slightly shy. Lin Jichin remarked that the bracelet suited her perfectly, reminding him of another ancient poem. The master, however, playfully interrupted him, stating that she had heard enough of his sweet words. She commented that his charm was excessive and that she feared she might not be able to resist him in the future. Shifting to a more serious tone, she asked if Jichin had gathered the necessary ingredients for the Foundation establishment realm. He reported that he did, and he can break through at any time. She told him that in that case he should go into seclusion break through. He hesitated, saying that he's afraid he'll encounter a tribulation during his breakthrough. She told that in that case he should break through here and she'll protect him. As he sat down in the lotus potion and started breaking through, all his stats increased and his heavenly tribulation will descend in 30 minutes. When the time came and the lightning strike descended, his master cast a shield around them, protecting him from any harm. He started mocking the heavens inwardly for not being able to do anything against him. And as if instant karma, his master told him that in the future, he can no longer rely on her to endure his tribulations, causing him to trip while still sitting. With an aggrieved expression he asked her why.